Yeah.
A Discord group.
Yeah.
So Wes should be looking for that link in that Discord group, is what you're saying, instead of chatting on the show, like through the live chat.
I would assume that's where he can go and find that link.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure. Hey, howdy. Oh, I guess I should say some hi to some people. We'll kind of get into it in a second, but our normal Monday co-host is me, and you're getting involved now a little bit more. But Chris is out in California playing with Cardboard Alchemy and going through stuff that they're coming out with. So Chris is unfortunately not available for tonight. So instead, figured we'd raise the ante a little bit and bring in our co-host friends from the Wednesday Night Whiskey Wednesday and other things that they do across the interwebs. Mike, half of Board Game Rundown. Mike Rice is here. And then as soon as West just gets his stuff together and goes and finds the link, we'll have my co-host from Fridays, This Is the Play, the infamous West Todd, the Flamingo. But I don't know why. I don't know why he's not.
I mean, he's in there chatting. I see him in there making comments about where the message is, and still isn't checking the Discord. I guess that I'm totally not in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, there's no link in the Discord. Oh no.
It was totally Mike's idea to ignore Wes' message requesting the link, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, Luca, come here. Can you come here for a second? Come here for a second. I have a question for you. Come here. You can hop a little faster. Okay, I have a question. So West, West? You remember West? Mm-hmm. He's not on the show. You see West? You just see Mike, right? That's Mike right there. Wes would like to come in this show. Is it okay if I give him the link now? Can I give him the link? Okay. He says okay, so I will give Wes the link now.
He didn't seem sure.
Yeah, he's a little unsure about that one, but
I wasn't sure either, to be fair.
I know. But that's okay. Now Luca approved, so say bye to Mike again.
Bye, Luca.
Bye, Luca.
All right, so we gave Wes the link. We got it approved. It's Luca approved. So Wes can now come in. If he wants to. There we go.
Oh.
There he is. Hi, buddy. How are you?
For the record, I was an hour early.
Yeah, that's because you were living in Chris's fake time of whatever the hell they make up. I mean, we go 9 Eastern. I don't know why you're an hour early. You can't use that. You actually mistook the go time.
I have an absolutely horrible echo.
We don't hear it.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking.
You're not in the UK, so there shouldn't be an echo. All right, so now that Wes is here, let me go back and look at some of these comments. Yeah, we'll get into it a little bit more, but
this guy is a flamingo mouse. I should not be surprised by that.
Have you met him?
I have, but
Steven, it's great to see you again. I know I just saw you a couple days ago, but
I have a couple pictures with him
in the chat that was at Origins. Everybody got home safely. There were no issues with everything. Eric, obviously. I haven't heard from you. I'd like you to text me and let me know how everything went today. I know you were expecting some sort of email or phone call, and I'd like to know about it if you don't mind. Not that I've been thinking about it and lost sleep last night about it. Yep, we had Luca pop in right out of the gate, so that's Luca. Jasmine, how are you? Nice to see you. And Steven again. Who else is
here?
Hi,
Jazz.
Howdy, Wayne. Yeah, we're crossing the streams tonight. We have the Facebook, the YouTube, and the Facebook for QSCon, the YouTube for the Full 42 group, and we have the crossover. The I don't know how it's working with the Board Game Rundown. I don't know what that is. That was Mike's magic getting it to stream.
We're on YouTube. Yep.
Awesome.
I didn't add our Facebook page, so everybody's tuning in on our YouTube page.
Nice. Well, welcome wherever you're tuning in from. Like
And
our friend Alan is tuning in from Costa Rica, as always. Andrew, how are you?
and if you see the ones that like have that little circle around their name, that means they're commenting from our channel. So that lets
Gotcha,
you know.
gotcha. Oh, that's what that means. Last time we
Yep.
did this, I had no idea what that meant.
Mhm.
Got it. Yeah,
So
Eric,
I'm seeing the circle on the people commenting on through your channel.
that was Luca. I know it's Mike Wazowski. Yeah,
Is that where West Invite
it
went?
wasn't in the trash can. It was actually hidden. Luca, I had to get permission from Luca, so it wasn't in the trash can this time. Can't hear you. You're on mute there, buddy. Yeah, you're having a good night. This
Still
is
muted.
Monday after.
That's my BS meter right there. BS,
Uh-huh.
BS.
That's the take your turn bell.
Yeah.
Steven's voting you off the island.
Wow.
Well,
He was so late. Let's give him a formal
sometimes we
greeting.
greatest survival.
Hi, Wes.
Unreal. Oh, hi, Wes. Very nice.
Right.
Donnie, great to see you. Hope all is well. Who else? Oh, there's these messages from West. Let's go West. I couldn't get in. Couldn't find it. You feel set up. It's a trap. I don't know, man.
Oh my. Oh.
Yeah, rough.
Alan, always a pleasure.
Reek the desperation.
Hope all is well. Oh, and Alicia's in. Wow, look at this. Wait,
Yeah.
Alicia's watching from your link. Oh, now I'm offended.
I'm pretty sure it's yours.
No, I got the link there. I got that little circle you told me about. Wow, I get it. Di, how are you? Hope you and Dave are doing well, obviously. Corey. Oh, we got Corey and Donnie. We'll go over the Origins recap, but just so you guys know, in the front load, there was a lot of buzz about mission control again. Because of I think charcuterie got 3WS, people didn't know, and it brought people over to the booth, and Origins had a really good pop with a lot of the stuff from the table. So again, kudos to you guys for that game. That was fantastic and great to see, obviously. What else? I think I'm caught up now. Okay, I think I'm caught up now. So yeah, welcome to Brett's there. Hi, Brett. Welcome to Monday night. I don't know how we talked to Mike a little bit because Mike was here when the show started, but we all got back from Origins. We all got back from Origins last night. It was 5 days. Most of us were there for 5 days. I know I got there on Wednesday. Got back last night. I believe we all got there you got there on Thursday, I believe, Mike, right?
I got there Wednesday night, but it was late. It was 10 a.m. I didn't even go to the convention center. So Thursday morning is when Bob and I made our first appearance.
Gotcha. And Wes, you were there. You weren't there Tuesday. You were there Wednesday, yeah?
Yeah, Wednesday is when we got there.
Howdy, Tim. There's no question this is Tim because Mike is right here. Right there. It's good to see you. I saw you most of the weekend, even though you weren't present. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So tonight we're gonna go over. We're gonna do the normal stuff. We're gonna do the like and subscribe, which we should always start the shows with. So do that thing while you're here. Hit the bell. Do that. Hit the thumb.
Why is that subscribe button so big? Why do I feel like we're getting
it.
Underrepresented on This Is the Play when there's like a huge banner that says subscribe?
Well, two reasons. One, Chris made it, and everything's bigger in Texas. And two, I haven't had any of the links or images to put into that side of things. So Chris normally does that stuff. I'm your B team. Hey, Chris is the one that runs all that stuff. So yeah,
got it.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I will to Dave and Eric. I've got a couple unreleased Tim memes that I will be releasing here tonight for the first time. So I'm pretty excited for people to see those.
They were awesome.
And I'll get into the little story of those. I got a whole section just of Tim memes so everybody can relive them.
They were wonderful. They were pretty wonderful. So we're going to do that. We're going to do our announcements. I have my Luca painting. Maybe Luca will come in and show it to you guys. And then we figured we'll keep it semi-short because we all need sleep and just do an Origins recap. I know Mike's got a whole PowerPoint presentation he's going to show I felt like I had homework today to get you pictures. You were hounding me so much. But yeah, we'll go over Origins from basically all our points of view. We had West had his booth, which was on almost the opposite side of the world from where our booth was. And then Mike, I was looking at Mike and Bob most of the show because they were helping out with Sam at BA Games, which looked like it was just popular the whole weekend. So we'll go over that stuff.
They were killing it.
Yeah, we'll answer some questions for those that have been thinking about going or have been there, and maybe you guys have some stuff that stood out to you while you were at the show, and then maybe we will just call it a night, or who knows? It'll be a 4-hour show, and we'll end up playing a game and busting Tim's balls for hours. So, yeah. So let's do some announcements. What do we got other than the normal stuff? How is everything going on your ends? I know the Board Game Rundown, Bob will be joining you in the near future more often now, right?
That's a great announcement. Yeah. So Bob is actually going to start working at the same company Tim is. Ooh. And after 13 years of being a second shifter, he will join us day walkers, which means he's going to be available for Wednesday nights. And so we will gladly welcome Bob as a regular host on the Whiskey Wednesday when he is ready. And I think he's very excited for that. And so are we. Because in just a couple of years I've known those guys, they have quickly become some of my best friends. So I'm very excited to have as many of them as I can on our live show.
I second that. I don't get to hang out with you guys as often. I basically, until this year at QsCon, I exclusively hang out with you at other conventions in other states. Same thing with Wes, really, until last year. And from meeting you guys after the Mission Control thing at Gen Con 2 years ago, and then getting to know Spencer and Bob a little bit more as the conversations and the intrusion of your show every time you have me on there for our epic 4-hour shows. Yeah, you guys are a tight group. You guys are fun.
Appreciate it. Love having you.
I was excited when you guys had made that 5,000. You turned that 5,000 subscriber corner. That was really, you guys do good stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Closing in on 6. Getting excited. Hopefully that happens before Gen Con.
It will. Especially when Bob joins. Man, I mean, I'm sure people will be tuning in to see Bob. They're sick of you guys.
The Bob bump. Yeah. That's a thing.
The Bob bump. Wow. That's a good one.
The Bob bump. Oh, that's a shirt. That's a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Wes, we got to talk. I got one for you.
Yeah?
Yeah. Somebody dropped a nugget, and I was just like, yep.
All right.
I don't want to say it. Somebody might know what I meant. So we'll talk. What else is going on the rundown side? Anything before I switch it over to the Flamingo?
We did not have a booth at Origins, but we will have a booth at Gen Con. I'm pretty sure our number is still the same, which is 1931. It's going to look a bit different. It's not just going to be Board Game Rundown. There's going to be some of our other channels there. We won't be filming quite as much. We really went crazy and shot like 45 videos at Gen Con last year. That will not be happening this year, but it's still going to be productive.
Yeah, Eric knows about the shirt. What was that, 1931?
Yes.
Nice. So again, on the opposite side of the hall, because 3WS will be at 151.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's hard to forget, right? Because of Bacardi 151.
Yeah, and the cardio that I get trying to walk between those two booths. So.
Yeah, but you get a lot of footage. You get a lot of B-roll. You get a lot of footage as you're walking to come say hi.
Yeah, that's true.
It takes you about an hour and 15 minutes to navigate the fucking swamp of backpacks. But
you're not wrong.
I have no idea what Dave is talking about, so that would be great. Can't wait to see this thing. What the fuck? Oh. Nice. Oh man, yeah, that's gonna be a fun thing to talk about. Yeah, I could only send out a link every now and then, right? So even though I had the link, I could only release it every now and then. So there just weren't enough links to go around initially. So I had to wait till sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see how it is. It's fine.
Yeah, it was Galapagos. We'll talk about that definitely later.
That game's hilarious.
So I ran into West a few times. Obviously, after hours we were playing till 4. I think we hit 4 o'clock in the morning except for the first night because we don't want to fuck ourselves too badly. But I think it was
Right.
4 o'clock every morning, and then West slept till like I don't know noon, 1 o'clock, like he did at the gathering again.
No, that is definitely not true. I had to be awake by 8:15 every single morning because we were in an Airbnb that was 37 minutes away.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Got to do better next year.
that was rough.
Yeah, but other than hanging out with these fine friends, which we'll talk about why I love going to these things so much. I saw you only a few times. Like it was from my perspective, it was a busy show. So what was?
Yeah.
And I went to your side of the hall. It felt a little weird. It seemed like there were way more publishers on one side than there were on the others. It seemed more crafty on the others. But what was your perspective like on rows 100 to 800? Also, hey Kabuki, good to see you.
Yeah, so I really liked what they did this year. They set up like the traffic significantly differently, so there wasn't like a main corridor that went straight down the center, and they had these little areas that were carved out for extra things. They had a big paint booth area that took up probably a space of what would normally be two big huge islands, and then they also had another like play area in a center section, and they were kind of forcing people to go down weird side corridors, so it was forcing traffic into more areas and more booth space, which I really liked, and it felt a lot more open, and it felt like the hall was bigger somehow, even though there were more vendors this year than there had been in previous years, and there was it just felt a lot more open, and they did a really great job. Our booth was right in front of the paint and take area, so there was a ton of open space, and we were very visible from many different directions, which I felt was a really great thing for us. Even though we were in like the back hall, it was far away from the entrances as you could possibly get. I still felt like we got a ton of attention and lots of opportunity to see people.
Were you were a 10 by 20?
Yeah, 10 by 20.
Yeah, so you had the whole front facing. Like if you think about the front of the hall, you're facing the front. You weren't on the back end of an island, or you weren't a bookend or anything. It was big. It was big.
Yeah, it was really nice. And I mean, we had tables open the entire time, and almost every single time, except for maybe a bit on Sunday, we had every single table full, just constantly running demos over and over again.
Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, that's
great.
because you were giving $20 to everybody that sat down. So,
I mean, we also gave them the link in time, so it was okay.
Whatever you do, however you got to run your business.
It's fair. I'll remember that. Don't worry.
I'm having some fun. So, all right. So that was from your booth perspective. We'll get into the whole Origins perspective. What is going on with Rove? Anything new that you can announce from last week? I mean, it's kind of in that lull period of like 2 weeks after the Kickstarter is like, we got to sit and wait, but you guys are like debbing and doing art. You had the artist at the booth, which was really neat. So what else? Is there anything else? If those are following Rove from the Kickstarter, is there any new shit? Cool.
Yeah. So we have Art Alexander Elichev, like you mentioned, was actually at the booth with us, which was super cool because I actually got to take pictures of him doing the artwork for Rove, which I thought was really awesome because we'd gotten some of those like the extras, the what do you call it when you get the stretch goals, and this was him actually creating a stretch goal for us live directly there on his little notepad. And if you don't know, he actually draws things in a sketchbook that is like maybe this big, and he hand pencils everything in, and then he takes a picture on his phone and then transfers that into that little computery thing, and then just sit there and like artistically colors it. It's so cool. It's very neat.
Wow.
So he was doing that. And then we were also just opened our late pledge. So late pledge is now available. There's something weird going on with it because if you have the app, you can't see the late pledge, or at least you couldn't as of yesterday. But the late pledge is open, and then starting July 1st, the pledge manager will actually be open as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So things are definitely rolling along. We're very excited. Everything's going really well. We actually have a couple of new teams of playtesters going through the late stage content right now. So everything's getting finalized, and we are on track for our to be slightly ahead of our delivery time frame. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of things to screw it up.
Don't you fucking jinx it. Don't do it.
Knocking on wood for you.
Don't do it.
Everywhere.
Uh-huh.
But no, it's looking good so far. Everything's doing really well. The team is really excited and very happy. Lots of stuff going in the right direction. So
good. Anything outside of a Rove that you can, I don't know, announcement or talk about, or maybe not now, maybe on Friday.
Yeah, maybe on Friday. Hopefully there'll be some stuff that I can talk about then.
Okay. Yeah, because Friday I'm going to bust your balls even harder because you really Old McDonald had a farm right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's singing.
Perfect timing.
Old McDonald, yeah, that's great, buddy. Almost over.
There's a nice cow, yeah.
Come on, you guys don't know the song? Jeez.
Luca. Okay.
Good job, Luca.
Thank you, buddy. Can you go play with that in the living room? Can you go play with that?
You want to go do that? I wouldn't want to do that. I'd want to play with it right there.
Do that. Yeah.
West has a love-hate relationship with Old McDonald. He used to work on a farm, and it's PTSD for him. Thank you, buddy. Yeah. So Alicia's singing it with Eric, I'm sure. So yeah, that's I will get into it on Friday, I guess, a little bit more, but I'm glad that's. I need the link. If I had the link, I could put it up. That I can do. Links I can do. Pictures I'm not sure I can add and not fuck it up. But links I can put in the chat, in the show notes, whatever those things are called. So get me the link.
Okay.
All right. So announcement wise for me, I mean, we'll get into it with Origins. We don't really have too much going on. We have maybe you might have seen some stuff come out of Origins with a little teaser of our upcoming games. One of them is mine, my co-design. So there was a good buzz about that. But again, it's all Origins based because that's all I've really been focusing on lately. Still singing. I don't know if you heard it, but he's still singing. Oh, so. Yeah. The other thing, I guess the only thing to talk about is our Monday night segment where we go over. Nope, that's the wrong button, Mike. We do this thing.
Luca paintings.
Yeah.
Yay,
so
Luca paintings.
For those that are, we're going to get the whole chat is going to be singing. That's hysterical. Yeah, bing bong. So for those that don't know, this little crazy man that now has a lightsaber. Right? It's called a saber. Just a saber.
And his own song.
Probably gonna hit me with it. Don't do it. He's been painting watercolors on canvas since 2 Decembers ago. And every Monday night for all of last season of the full 42, and since the new season started in January for this season of 42, I've shown one of his 300 paintings that he's done for me. And we kind of go over it and look at it from like that Rorschach perspective, like what do you see? And we usually make fun of Chris for being psychotic and seeing stuff we don't know why he sees. But so this week, huh?
Because he's psychotic? I mean, said it.
Yeah, he lives in Texas. He's out of his mind.
That's true.
Don't know why. So yeah, so this one was done on June 13th. I don't want to do that. This was June 13th.
Nice.
And the LH he's still rocking his left hand, which I'm proud of because Daddy's a lefty. And this is, I'll make myself bigger. Yeah, see you. Yeah.
Okay. So it kind of looks like a bird with like a big giant mohawk.
I'm kind of seeing a volcano that's erupted, and the top is the volcano, and the side is like the lava that's flowing.
It does very much look like New York, Donnie. Wow. Best farm ever. See a flying fish. Okay. Orange cardinal. Interesting. A flying fish. Interesting.
From from Chris's perspective, since he isn't here, this is clearly a ship that's on fire, and there are people jumping off the ship.
Like a guy hit with a cannonball or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely that. And like the orange is in the water from the fire that's currently on top of it.
Okay.
Or
really good
the
ones.
open mouth of a basking shark with a gigantic fin.
I will say, so we've been doing this for the better part of a year and a half now, right? Like every season, the first 2 seasons I did. The first season I did the geeky tikis, and then the second season I was doing the hockey jerseys. So starting in the 3rd season and continuing on, it's around a year and a half of doing these with everybody. And I don't think I've ever seen the chat be this divisive. Like there's no duplicates in anything. Usually there's someone, I mean, there's the flying fish, so flying, and there's the cardinal, but I've never seen it so different in the chat before.
There's a lot of options with this.
Yeah.
There's definitely no clear thing that stands out with this one.
No. I like the Pride Rock from Lion King too. Hey, Luca. Can you come here for a second? Are you busy? Come here. I want you to show them something. No? No, it'd be so funny if he did. Because now some of them he's labeling. Like if you saw the last one, he actually gives it names now. And what we were doing with this one is the game that's coming up, Canvas. I don't need to be this big. No one needs to see this. This can go away. Okay.
He's never been more right.
Yeah, seriously. I'm usually right, but that was definitely right. So we were playing with the bits from the canvas critters because I was trying to make sure that they're the right size or whatever. And I think I showed Mike. Did I show Mike? I might have showed you. I don't know if I showed Wes. Maybe I didn't even show Wes. Anyway, I took a video of him getting the animals right. Like he named every one of the animals, and then he started painting some of them. So last week we showed off one that was the whale tail. It looked exactly like a whale tail, and he had it up in the air, and it was blue, and it was really good. Luca,
nice.
Come here. Can you tell him what this is? Come here.
Is that a fox?
Yep. Okay, ready? I'm going to show you something. You tell them what it is. You ready?
Okay.
Okay, tell them what that is. What is this?
Yes, it is, buddy.
Oh, back and watch TV.
You're going to go back and watch TV? Okay, well, you go have fun. Thank you, buddy.
Those fucking thoughts.
Before the show, I was showing Mike how he says fuck butt. It's hysterical. Future Luca, don't hate your dad too much, please. Thank you. Yeah,
He already does.
so that is this week's painting.
That's awesome.
Thank you
Nice.
for indulging.
Beautiful.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's super fun. I enjoy. He's great. It's just super fun to watch. And if you go back and watch some of the other ones, you get to see his kind of evolution and de-evolution as he goes from single color to double color to all the colors. It's really fun. Definitely been entertaining. All right, so from there, that was Luke. Oh, I didn't do Lucas Paint. It was under announcements. So the main thing, the reason why we're here on this Monday is to talk about Origins, right?
Hey.
Hey, so Origins is in Columbus, Ohio. It takes place around my birthday, which is everybody getting together in Columbus for my birthday, which I can't be more proud of or happy about.
Pretty awesome.
It is 4 days of board game geekiness with arts and crafts. It's all geeky stuff. I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite, I think, that I go to. It's got the hustle and bustle of a big convention where publishers and artists and crafters are trying to sell their wares to people. And it's early enough where you can say it's not really the start of con season because there's plenty of early con seasons or smaller cons that are going on. But it's one of the bigger ones that happens that's in the States that's publishing focused, like game focused. But there isn't necessarily new stuff. There aren't a lot of new stuff dropping in Columbus at the show. But it is a lot of take some previews, look at what's coming out. It's also a really good, I guess for me, a really good let's make sure we got our shit together. Like, what did we forget? Oh, we should do this better for next year. But you also get to talk to people. Like it's got that hustle and bustle at Gen Con, but you can actually have conversations with people. And it was definitely apparent this year being able to talk to people about like meeting backers for charcuterie and thanking them for the support, but them thanking us for this beautiful game they can play with their wife or their significant other or their neighbors, or my family can gather around the table now and play a game because all I like is heavy UVA games and Twilight Imperium, and now I can play something with the family. So I enjoy it. I like walking around without getting bumped around with people constantly for a half an hour when you try and go get a drink. How do you guys feel about it? What is your take on Origins?
That's very much the feeling that I get. I haven't been to nearly as many cons as you guys, but it is my favorite because, as you said, it's got most of the vendors there that you want to see. But also if you want to play games, there's plenty of opportunities to sit down and do tons of gaming. And that's the part I really appreciate at Origins. And it's convenient to do it. I mean, the open gaming halls connected to the vendor hall, whereas with Gen Con, you got to go to completely separate buildings to find a place to sit down and play games. So for that perspective, I appreciate it because of the easy opportunity to just sit down and game with people.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think it's my favorite of the bigger conventions because it has that small-ish homey feel while still giving you all of those great big vendors that you want to see. There's plenty of opportunity to just hang out and plenty of spaces to do that. And honestly, I think that the convention center in Columbus is probably the best of all the convention locations that we go to, because everything is connected. All of it is together. There's like 2 different hotels that you can get to directly from the convention center. There's those like little hallways that go everywhere. So there's plenty of like open, crazy, fun space to play. And basically it feels like almost everything is open really, really late. I mean, even the main gaming hall, I think, is open until 2 a.m., which is awesome. And then there's all those extra little spaces that are open in between runway halls, in between those different locations, and those are open all night long, obviously, since we were there till like 5 o'clock some nights. So I think those are like some of the best parts about Origins. I also really like Origins because it is now becoming a bit more focused on smaller publishing companies, because the bigger guys sometimes are choosing not to go for various reasons, mostly because Gen Con is like 6 weeks away, so you're hitting roughly the same territory of people. So it's giving Origins an opportunity to showcase some of the smaller publishers and more opportunity for them to get their word and information out, which I think is great.
Yeah, there were a really good quantity of independent publishers and opportunities to sit down and play test unpublished games, and I really love that about Origins.
Yeah, there are definitely some notables that weren't there, but there were like you had said, Wes, it's definitely convenient for those that can't necessarily get to a Gen Con or spend as much money to rise above the water level, if you will, of the money that somebody really.
Is he repeating unpub? That's what it sounded like. I thought he was saying unpub.
He's been saying words today. I don't know where it's coming from. It's not me. So yeah, the to stay afloat, or not afloat. That's like they're not drowning, but the choking out the trees, right? The smaller trees have to rise above to get the sun. Some people they don't go to this one because they don't have anything to drop. They're not using it as marketing. They're saving, like you had said, they're saving because 6 weeks away, and you are that Venn diagram of gamers and people that go to Gen Con are only about 3 hours away from Origins. So they pick and choose. I like Origins for that notion of being able to talk to people. Not only that, you're standing out. It's easier for you to stand out if you have the ability to. It's easier for you to stand out at Origins because of the lack of those big things like Origins or Gen Con has Upper Deck, right? And when Upper Deck was doing those legendary encounters, that display they had that was like 80 by 80. They brought in an RV. They had the trees. They were doing the Predator one and the little Tokyo one that they had. Like you can get overwhelmed not only from being there as an attendee, but having a booth. And depending on how your booth is set up and your neighbors could just put up banners that are like beautiful and tall, and everyone's seeing you and they're not seeing what's next, or they're seeing them and not seeing what you have. It can be, and the amount of stuff that's there, it's deterring because you don't know where to look. You're going down the aisles, you can miss stuff pretty easily. Like I saw Sam Healy walk by a couple times. I don't think he saw us because there's a lot going on, and he might have had an agenda to go to places and whatever, but that elevated at Gen Con with 70-something thousand people walking around with gigantic backpacks and on their cell phone, not paying attention, blocking the intersections, or groups of people that are like 8 deep just in the middle. Like it is kind of bonkers, but I don't know. It's got I always said it's got a feel of Gen Con with the publishing side of things, but it's not the craziness. And if they don't, if you don't have anything to go and release, then it might not benefit you to go if you're not going to cover the cost of being there. And being so close to Gen Con, you got to pick one or the other. Being able to drive definitely helps. Having a smaller booth definitely helps. But you're right. There were a lot more indie stuff there. Not indie, but smaller, but indie. That was great to see, right? Like companies that have had a recent Kickstarter and they're really trying to get things going and like staying true to what the Kickstarter like model used to be. I met there was somebody up the aisle from me. They were fantastic. They had a beautiful product. They had a great pitch, and they had a 10 by 10 inline. Successful Kickstarter coming to fulfillment soon, and it's just nice to see those because Gen Con is a lot. It's just a lot. Period.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but this was a good one. And then obviously there's the after hours, like you said, things being open. Gen Con's got that too, where every hotel lobby is full of people playing games, and it's all week. And then there's all the rooms up top in the hotels, and then there's the hall, right? Everywhere in the hall, people are sitting down playing games, just outside doors. But yeah, this one's got that. It's also, I like the city. I think the city is really nice. It feels like you don't have to walk too far to get to anything that you want, whether you're looking for a quick dinner after, or I would suggest, and I'm sure Wes could kind of back this one up, not using Uber or whatever the other one was to get food, because two and them fucking that up was amazing.
Yeah, DoorDash and Uber Eats, man. Never again.
They both screwed you guys on the Popeyes
At least
order,
not in
I
Columbus.
take it?
Let's put it that way. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like they completely missed the sandwich and with the Popeyes, and then they were like, "Oh, well, here we'll give you $5 back." Yeah, but the sandwich was actually supposed to be $6 and 13 cents. So $5 back isn't really even giving my money back. So then I had to sit on the phone with them for like 25 or 30 minutes, getting all these nonsense back, and it was 2 days in a row. Same thing. It was bad. It was bad.
I mean, it should be noted. Like, I'm sure not everybody has the same experience, but it is close enough where you can walk and go get something. And Bar on Two's got like good food, but it was kind of like there's no way they're going to go back to back. And you picked a different
location, completely different thing, and still same problem. I had exactly the same issue. It was not good.
You should have played Ohio Lotto for that one, really.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I really like. I think all the food in Columbus is better than in Gen Con. With the exception that some of those like really nice food trucks that you get. There's one called the Naughty Lobster that goes to Gen Con every year, and it's probably the greatest food truck ever. If you can eat shellfish, man, Naughty Lobster is where it's at. But the actual food places that you can go to in Columbus, I think they are by far better than all the other places that we go to.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But
I mean, I love the food truck options, but the fact is you have to stand outside in early August and it's hot. There's nowhere to sit and you're standing in line forever. The all of the different options available to you at North Market plus available seating is far superior from a food standpoint, no question. And I just love how accessible everything is. You don't have to walk forever to find stuff. It is very easy to go to Gen Con for years, and I've still never seen all of it. I don't know where some stuff is. It's very easy to just find everything at Origins.
Yeah, Gen Con, you got to walk farther, right? Because you got so many people that are there on the daily. And when that breaks out, and we're a little behind being publishers, like having a booth, they can go at 5 o'clock or they can go at 5:30, but we have to be there at 6. And unless you have somebody at the booth that can go, or you make a reservation, trying to find something when you leave and restock or whatever you do at 6 o'clock, you could be waiting hour and 20 minutes. And then by the time that's done, dinner and check and get back to your hotel or the gaming area, you've wasted X amount of time. And it's like already 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And after being on your feet from 8, if people are getting in early, or 9, or, 11 o'clock when Wes gets there, it's a long day. It's a long day. Like, joke aside, it's a long day for those that are like in the booth and doing the 8-hour thing from 10 to 8 or 10 to 6. And then going to find a thing and getting food at 7, and then it's 9:30. It just starts to hit you in the face. And I don't get that. We did a little bit different this year. Like, we usually go to the Pearl or over to the market. Like, during the day, it can get jammed, but we did a little different this year. I appreciate that more because I get to hang out with people longer, right? That you only get to see a couple times. There's people I only see once a year at that place. And obviously, there's a ton of people in the industry that we see at every one of these things. But I prefer that than going to sit down and do 2 hours, 2.5 hours of dinner and food and check and walking back. And yeah.
Agreed.
Hey,
especially when it's extremely hot.
Yeah, that makes it a lot harder. And it's just the hottest time of the year. So
or
it just
raining.
amplifies all of that.
Yeah. It was hot there Saturday, and that's the hottest I remember Columbus being at Origins. Like, it hit 98 degrees, I think 98 degrees on Saturday. And that's like Gen Con weather. Like that, you walk outside, it's got a dick and hitting you in the face. But everything's so close and it's connected. The majority of the stuff you go, the hotels are connected by some sort of walkway. And if you are walking across the street to the market, it's only a block. Like, it's not far. But Gen Con is like, you're walking if you're close. And the food, I like what Gen Con did with the food trucks and moving them on the back end down the hallway, because now they're right in that parking lot. But they were always right across the street in that little area. They're really close.
Yeah.
They also, not to shit on Gen Con, but I love Gen Con for completely different reasons. And we'll do a Gen Con recap.
Different reasons.
Yeah. But it is a beast. Gen Con is an exhausting beast. They had the air on when we were setting up on Wednesday. Because they had the doors open, so they're blowing, literally the air conditioning is going right out the door, and it's hot. But they had the air conditioning on for Wednesday when we were setting up, and I don't know if that was new, but that was like noticeably like, thank you.
Yeah, that was amazing. Even though I only got to see the last end of it, like, I was expecting it to be 9,000 degrees in there, like it always is for all the other booths. Yeah. Wow, that was really nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So Origins is in June, and like I said, it's kind of a kickoff to the con season. Although there are other things throughout the year that you can say is a kickoff, right? UKGE, which Wes was at just recently, but that's in UK. There are plenty of things that happen, especially in your local community, which we talk about, like small local cons. I get notifications of them all the time. So there are other conventions, but the bigger industry ones like this one, and I don't know if they've released the turnstile numbers yet, or the uniqueness, or whatever they do. I don't know how many were there. It definitely felt bigger than
for sure.
Yep. But yeah, it's kind of the first big one. And like I said earlier, there isn't necessarily a run to get something. There some titles, like last year was Cat in the Box. That was one that people were running to, right? The door opens, people are running to a booth to get a thing because it's going to sell out. Or a lot of them is like a preview, like a first time you can get something, because some companies decide to airship stuff in to have it there. and some companies are trying to do that and get completely fucked by shipping, like Sam did at BA with Forges of Ravenshire. It can make it can make a big difference if that's something that you're seriously waiting on to help you, which I'm not saying it wasn't, but Sam and I talked. Origins is a different breed of con than Gen Con. Had a lot of that stuff happen at Gen Con, that could just put businesses out, right? Like if you don't have the ability to sell stuff at Gen Con for the cost of Gen Con, that could be amazingly bad for people. But if it happens at Origins, it's a feel bad, right? It's like, oh, I could have sold 50 copies and I didn't, but it wasn't Gen Con, right? Gen Con seems to be the one that like just more, there's more pressure on that one because it's so many people. You hit so many people while they're there. But Origins also has that thing. And I saw a little bit more of a shift in that this year than I saw last year with companies that had stuff that you can get for the first time at Origins. Did you guys notice the same?
Yeah, there were actually quite a few that had first time ones. I know Terrible Games had their had this one there. And that had just started delivering. So I was able to actually pick mine up directly there. So that was super
Nice.
cool. Very exciting for that one as well. There were a couple others as well, but most of them were, like you were saying, I mean, charcuterie was the first place you could buy it, right?
Well, we had our backers, right? And some of the retail locations that were in on the Kickstarter could have it, but it was available at Barnes & Noble a couple of weeks earlier. But yeah, the first convention you could have it at, the first real place to go and get like the cheese bag that Rice loves so much. It was the first time you could get that if you weren't a backer for the Kickstarter. So yeah, and it was a great, like we used it as a great, like, and actually it makes we had an internal conversation it's a tough conversation to have. And I posed the question, I guess. We had a certain amount that we brought to Origins because you don't want to have, or you can win Sam Healy's contest. That's true. The flip side of gaming. Flip side of gaming? I'm second guessing myself. It's the flip side.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam Healy.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, he's having a contest with his on his channel for he backed at two copies and he's giving one away. And he is a cheese bag. I agree, Tim. We had an idea of like what we would sell based on last year with Mission Control being the first time out. And you kind of look at the buzz and the people that are talking about it and the videos that it's hitting is like, being mentioned from this person and mentioned from that person. And then you're there and you realize like there's quite a buzz going on, but then if you bring too much, you have to ship stuff home. And if you don't bring enough, you're not selling, like you're missing out on sales. And I talked to a few people while I was there, Sam at BA being one of them, like, what do you do? How do you predict that? Right? Like you can't, there isn't a cookie cutter process to Kickstarters and how they work. And there isn't a cookie cutter process to multi-million-dollar games that just catch fire and become evergreens. Like if there were, everyone would do it. But when it comes down to something like that, like how do you predict or how can you plan for X amount of cases over what you think or under what you think? So you're not spending thousands of dollars to ship home. I guess it's a little bit rhetorical, but how do you do that? Flip side of board games. There you go. I mean, rhetorical questions don't have answers. They're not meant for answers. But if either of you had an answer.
There's absolutely no way to do it. The only thing you could do, like part of what I was there for, was to talk to other campaign games and see how they were doing and what their general sales were like at Origins, so that when we do it next year, like, does it make sense? Where are these things going to be? How many cases should we be bringing? How many different games should we have? And it's such a it's a shot in the dark. Some people were saying, "Oh, we were doing this," and other people, I know UKG last year or Essen last year for Shadowborn games, Oathsworn, they did 3 times what they were expecting to do, and they actually had people go back and get stuff cross countries to go get stuff so that they could have more to sell at Essen. So I think all of those, it's just, you're right. It's a shot in the dark to see what makes sense.
Yeah, and you also kind of have to ration out your inventory per day as well, because you could run into a situation like Adam's Apple did at Gen Con last year, and every copy of Planet Unknown they had was gone, and hour after Thursday open time, and they had nothing else to sell the rest of the con. So, that rationing of inventory is pretty important too.
It for multiple things too. Like it's nice to sell them, right? Like you get rid of them, you don't have to worry about shipping them back. Because if you hold them back and you don't sell them on Sunday, you got to ship them, right? And then you got the buzz of, they sold out day one. Like, oh my God, they sold out. They sold, like Robert from Arcane Wonders, right? Day one of Gen Con, 500 copies of what are 250 copies of whatever. And then you're out for the weekend, which are feel bads for people that are like, they just can't get there, right? Or they're not the ones to like run to the booth. I feel, maybe you guys feel the same. I feel keeping some back is a genuine thing to do, because there are people with families, and there are people that work, and there are people that can't take time off. I'm looking at you, Tim, that can't be there on Thursday or Friday, and be there for the drop on Thursday. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, because I have a life and responsibilities, I can't get the thing. Okay, first world problems, I get it, right? But if you can keep some back, like for charcuterie, I didn't think we'd sell out as quickly as we did. And when we were down to a short stack for Friday morning, I didn't feel comfortable not having anything for Saturday, Sunday. Knowing Saturday's busy, right? Saturday's mostly the busier of the days. Started out a little slow this year, but it's mostly the busier of the days because it's the weekend and people are off from work. Cool. Not having anything just felt icky. And I kept at least a case back for each Saturday on Sunday. I could have kept more. I would have sold more. Oh, wow. I'm sure that's going to be a phenomenal game. What would you do? What would you do, West? Would you just let everything go at Thursday? Are you the type that would hold some back for the weekend? Like what is in your head when that kind of thing is a conversation?
So I'm like you. I don't like the idea of selling everything out. I think it feels bad. I think people have an issue with going to it and saying, oh, well, it completely sold out 2 days ago. Well, that's just sucks. It's not fair. So I do prefer to do the holdback. My hope, especially for things like Gen Con and Origins, is I live 4 hours away. So I'm hoping that we have a secret stash near me. So if I need to, I could just drive back, fill up the car, drive back again and come back. But that's not possible for everybody.
Yeah.
That would be our backup plan. And that's my proposition is that we would have a backup for all of that, because we have a backup for Philadelphia, because our main warehouse is in New Jersey. Yeah, so we're a little bit lucky when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I like the X per day. Like you got 40 a day or 50 a day because you only ship so many in, because you only have that much in a truck, or you only have that much, you only want to pay that much for shipping because you don't want to end up getting stuck with stuff as well. But like last year, Gen Con, Chad from 25th Century and a bunch of others, they were selling it. They knew they were going to be out of product by Friday. And then your weekend is just like, then you're not making any money. So they banded together and like drove down to, I think it was Savannah, to go to their warehouse, who they use overnight, and came back. And there was like a video, and they used it for like a little bit of like a social media thing of like them at the truck, and all these publishing companies coming together and banding together and doing this thing and taking this road trip. And it kind of spoke a lot to what the industry, like what I love about the industry, are all of those people coming in and doing it. But if you do X per day, right, and you got a popular title and it sells out, it opens at 10 and you have a line and they sell out at 10:15, well, then the people that come in later on the afternoon, like, oh, you sold out this morning. Oh, I couldn't work this morning. You can drive yourself crazy with trying to find the mixture of like what to do. Like you're not going to release 10 every hour per day. Like you can't do it that way. Yeah. But you can kind of try and, I don't know, cater to or understand that there's a difference between what people are going through, and at least give an effort in my
Yep. Especially when that is these are the people that are here to support you, and then to just give them no hope, it just sucks.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
We had plenty of people that were like, it's the only game that like my friend or my wife or my neighbors, like it was, I just the only one I wanted to get, and you're out of it. We had the backup of we didn't bring them with us, but we had them on the website. So we opened up the cheese bag freebie on the website. Just go on the website, and we're going to ship it out this week. So you had the opportunity, although you're not taking it away from the convention to play it, they'll have it in a couple of days. So it wasn't like we're sold out and we're waiting, and you got to wait till Gen Con. It's like, oh, another 3 months to do it. There's always a pivot. There's always a second option, I guess. And maybe not always, but hopefully there is.
But I also feel like a lot of times people buy games at those cons to play. Like they want to open them up. They want to play them right away. And I think that there's something special about that con experience, and say like, oh, I got this at so-and-so con. And you can say, oh, well, I bought it from their website while I was at so-and-so con. It just doesn't feel as good.
Yeah.
And so many times, like, you've got the designers or the developers or, the artists or whatever are actually at the booth, and you can have them sign stuff. And that's just so cool. And you miss out on that experience. I mean, I had xylitol is not the right name. Zygatar? Is it
It's a
Xylotar?
Xylotar. I have my copy of Xylotar signed by the designer, because he happened to be at Bezier's booth. So that was awesome, because I would have happily bought it somewhere else or whatever, but he was there. So how cool is that?
Yeah.
That's a cool moment. We had one of the backers brought their cheese bag, just the cheese bag from the Kickstarter to have signed, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, like Whitney, I took a picture of Whitney signing a cheese bag for the first time, which you never think of, like, but then somebody asked me to sign it. And I'm like, I developed it. I'm not on the box. Like, it's not mine. You sure? I asked, you sure you want me to sign it? Yeah, I want you to sign it. Okay.
Why didn't I think of that?
I wouldn't have signed my real name. I would have signed somebody else's.
Okay.
For you. Yeah, it's weird. It's a cool moment when you get to meet the designer and do the picture, ask the questions, but then you get to walk away with like a memory of like that happened kind of thing. If you don't have that to sign, then they missed out, right? And there are a lot of only Saturday badges, people that only come on Saturday, and when you're sold out, and then you have the designer there, and they can't. What you're gonna sign my arm? Like, what are you gonna? It's kind of it is a little weird. But that being said, you can't cater to all of it, and you got to draw a line somewhere. Sure. I'm definitely not a fan of just putting it out and let it sell, especially knowing that you have the hype and knowing that you're going to sell out day one. It makes your weekend easier, but it also makes it really boring. Like, there's a rush when like people are coming in and there's a line and people are like so excited to get the game. And then it's the complete opposite when they're so excited to get the game and you're like, yeah, we sold out yesterday. Sorry. Like, it's not fun. It's not a fun thing. But I did see a lot more first time to get it games, and maybe I normally don't leave the booth, and I only left a couple times. I walked the right side once, I walked the left side twice because I had to go. I talked to Jim Dietz and I talked to Mark at Grand Gamers Guild. But it definitely seemed, I saw a lot of like first time hits coming out from this year. And I don't know if I didn't notice it last year or if I was more hyper aware of it this year because of what was going on with our charcuterie and people telling me about videos and me going to the video to see where it was and, hearing more about the hype. I guess maybe my eyes were wider to see what was going on out there. When you guys were walking around, obviously we were kind of shackled to our booths for the majority of the part, but when you guys were walking around, did you see that as well? Bueller?
I saw, go ahead, Mike.
You mean as far as like people racing for specific games that were being released?
Not necessarily racing, but more titles that were available for the first time, right? There's always something available for the first time you can grab it, but more games that seemed like they weren't just that they were popular, like not necessarily from popular.
Okay.
But like
second, that one I know sold out. I know Ito from Arcane Wonders sold out, and that was the first time that was available.
Yep.
Of course, charcuterie being the first time that one was available. I know a lot of people were rushing to 25th Century to get Sausage Sizzle and Agueda. So and second edition Santa's Workshop. I know that was one I specifically, that was like my one must buy because you can only order it directly from their website. So that's the perfect opportunity to buy those games directly from the publisher without having to pay shipping.
West?
Yeah, and I mean, there was a lot of buzz about lots of different games, and I know at least those ones that you already mentioned that were sold out very early, or maybe not very early, but they were sold out within a reasonable amount of time. And yeah, as they brought up, Blueprints also was another big one that went out, which is cool. I mean, I think it's good to see those things because it also means that the market is very healthy, or people are underestimating how many people are willing to buy at Origins. I mean, it's a good question for either side. I don't know. I think one of the things that I noticed, and it was interesting to me because and maybe I was just more sensitive to it, was how many smaller games were coming out and were actually the ones that were being very quickly picked up. Like almost every single game that was mentioned here, most of them are very small, most of them are very quick, most of them are very fun, very quick and easy. That makes a huge difference. And I'm going to sound very first worldy here, but when you have a price tag under $25, especially when it's $20 and under, that is quote unquote throwaway money, right? To gamers, especially when most of our board games are $100-$150 sometimes. At the very least $60 to $80. So when someone says, "Oh, there's a really great fun package packed densely into this tiny little game," hey, it's $20, awesome. I'll buy it all day. And I think that's an interesting conversation of where some of the industry is going, and some companies have literally made it their entire catalog. I mean, Oink, obviously, Bezier, almost all of their stuff is small.
They're going that way.
Of course, our good friends over at Envy Born Games, he's got a whole tiny game series. I think, and here I am, one of, a game that's going to end up being 18 pounds in a huge ass box that barely fits inside of a Calyx. But at least for a campaign game, it plays very quickly and it sets up and tears down in under 5 minutes. And if it's 2 people, you can play it in an hour. I mean, that's a very different version of a campaign game.
Yeah,
it's very streamlined.
Yeah.
Well, there's also been, like, when we had Eric on, and talking to him off camera too. There's how many games made? I don't know what the number is. 4,500, 5,000 games published a year, right? So
roughly,
there isn't one game for everybody, and that's I think one of the most brilliant things about the hobby and what we recognize as publishers and designers is that you're not going to make the perfect game. You're going to make the perfect game for someone, but they don't need to like your game, right? So you have a whole bunch of stuff that's coming out. A lot of it is shit. There are amazing things coming out more rapidly now than there were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right? Like the quality of he's okay, I swear. The quality, I don't know why he just screamed. It's Monsters University, and he's screaming when the thing is popping up, and they're screaming.
I do the same thing.
The quality of stuff, right, from not only from the components, but the cover art and the art in the game, and just the quality and the gameplay. Luca?
He's excited.
He really gets into this hobby as much as I do. He feeds off of me when I get going. He's like, I'm in. There are a lot of things that are coming out that are good. More things that are coming out that are good. And there's a shift between, like, not this middle ground of middleweight, but there's a shift of just focusing on stuff that people want to play. And I think a lot of companies understand that we have a limited space and limited time to play all these things, and to be able to put out a quality 10 to 20 minute game that's at $20, $25, $30, $40, like somewhere's in that round, goes a long way, because when you're talking about things that are $60, $80, $100, $160 that take time to put up, that take all day to play, you could literally be playing that in a game night. Like my game night's on Tuesday. Some of us will get there early, but it's typically 5 in the bar. You want more Cheerios? Do you want to do it while I'm on the show, or do you want to wait until after I'm on the show?
Wouldn't wait either.
When you have a game night, and it's hard to get like there's a bunch of memes about like people getting together and what's a good time for everybody. But when you have 4 or 5 hours in a night and you not waste it in the derogatory way, but when you waste it on one game, right? And you get, maybe this is the weekend or the Tuesday you can get out, and then you play one game and it's a chore to set up or it's a chore to learn, and then you're done. You're like, all right, well, I have a half an hour. I can't start another 3-hour game. To have those games are good, but then there are also those that want to get into a game and want the theme and want to like make those choices. And it's such a beautiful time to have the quality of stuff that we're having. But there is a shift in that time length. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's time length, but people are hyper aware of the amount of time they have. And I think publishers are making sure they have something. Like Chad does an amazing job with, when you go to his table and you have that array of stuff. What do you like? Cool. I got a game. You like this? No, good. I got something for you. How many people you got? What's your time limit? If you have that net wide, you'll be able to catch a lot of people. I mean, for lack of a better pun. And I see a lot more of that, right? Like, look at Arcane Wonders. Mm-hmm. And Robert is a very smart individual, but he's got his World Wonders game. He's got his Foundations of Rome. He's got his big box stuff. And then he's coming out with Gap and Ito. And like, he's making sure that he's got that mm-hmm. bookend of, what do you like? Let me get you something. I see that a lot from companies. Even DeVere does that too, right? DeVere's got the Red Castle and the White Castle, and the Red Cathedral, the White Castle, Batoku, like those good chunky things that wrap your head around. And then got the Alicia and Eric showed me the game called Ouch, where you're flipping over a card, and if you touch part of it, when you flip it over, if you're touching part of the cactus, like it pricks you and you can't get that card to score. Like, it's super quick card game, like, but they have that in their booth, so it's like, I love it. I love seeing this stuff. I saw a lot of it, like you said. I saw a lot of it this year at Origins, and I'm excited.
Well, to your point, it's also just the easiest way to get new people into the hobby with accessible games. And yeah, people are more cognizant of time, but also when you've got hundreds of games, buying an $80 game that takes 3 hours to play and is a time commitment to learn, how soon am I even going to get that return on my investment? How quickly am I actually going to even take the shrink off that box, learn it, and play it? I know that I bought, if I go to Origins and buy Kabanga, I can go to the play hall and play it immediately. There's an immediate satisfaction and return on your investment. I'm not just throwing my money into something that's just going to sit back here for months. I'm going to get to enjoy what I've bought right away. And there's a satisfaction in knowing it's not just going to sit around unplayed.
Yeah. Then there's me, who runs a convention, 2 a year, that just buys it to collect it. And they'll just sit there unopened for a while.
I have too many of those, too many unplayed games. And I've always been a selective purchaser when it comes to games anyway. But yeah, I'm buying stuff I can play, sooner than later.
I think Actual Lowell just put out a video, I think it was either today or yesterday, about 20 small games that fit in a shoebox. And he has this great calculation method that he calls dense. I think it's like density of joy or density of game or something along those lines, but it's how small of a footprint does it take up in the box, and based on average of the score in BGG. Yeah. And like Gloomhaven is an 11 because it's a giant, huge ass box, but it's got a wonderful score, but it's an 11. But then some of these like print and play games that have shown extremely well, I mean, they're like over 1100 because they're just one literal piece of paper. So, yeah. I mean, there's lots of opportunities there for uniqueness, interest, and really cool, fun games that can actually fit in and be played on a regular basis. I mean, I normally bring a huge game bag with me everywhere that I go when I go to all these different conventions. And this is the very first convention I didn't do that. And people made fun of me for my backpack of 7 or 8 games inside of it, but I played every single one of them while I was at Origins this year. Every single one. And I've never done that even with my big games because they always take more time. But we always have that, let's just play a 5 or, let's play a 20-minute game or a 15-minute game. Or, we could play a game like End of the Line, which actually now plays in 30 minutes instead of the
So we're gonna cut him off there for a second and just let you know why he's doing this. I'm gonna give you a little precursor to why this is happening right now. At Leprechaun in March, it was late. And Wes is like, "You want to play one more game when as we're going to bed?" And back me up because I know there's people in the chat that will back me up. He's like, "No, it's about 20 to 30 minutes." Like, okay, fuck it, whatever. It's already 1 in the morning. Let's do it. It was 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. And it had a lot of really cool things that were going on, but he swore that it was 30 minutes. So enter the new edition of End of the Line by Seppi and Fight in a Box. And he's like, no, really, I played it. It's down to 30 minutes. And I'm like, it's not. I don't believe you. You're a liar. It's not. So what he's going to say, I want to say without cutting him off, which I did, but I want to actually let it run because from what I've heard from other people, it is 30 minutes. So.
In fact, it's 30 minutes. I played it twice. Mike played it with me as well, and we played it 2 times in an hour. And it is stupid fun, tons of chaos, and it is literally the meanest game I've ever played. But like this is it is the whole invention of what we're talking about because it went from a game that definitely took more than 30 minutes if you played it not fully meanly to where it is now where it literally does play in 30 minutes and it was the biggest issue with the game was that it took too long to play. And now it's great.
I've talked about it on the show before. It might have been our Friday show, but I've definitely talked about it on the show before and talked about how it was a 3.5 hour, like what the hell kind of experience. And I love Seppi and I love the games that are coming out of Fight in the Box. And I'm very happy to hear that it's around 30 minutes based on the number of players because there are some things in that game that were very cool, right? Intuitive and fun and enjoyable to play. And then it like what Eric's saying, like I couldn't lose the game fast enough. And there were things that I was trying to do to just fucking kill my character already. But like beginning, it was really cool the way the choices are and the way the things were going. So I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy for it because you're not the only person to talk about that game without being prompted. I heard a lot about that game. So
yeah, it was fun and mean and chaotic. Also, we're going to be playing it with Seppi this Sunday. We're actually going to record it on Tabletop Simulator and then release it Monday. It comes out next Tuesday. No, nice. Wait, I'm early. It's 10 days early. July 12th, not the 2nd. Yeah. There we go.
Stop lying to the viewers, please.
Yeah.
If I can get in on that game, I would totally love that unless you do have 5 players for it, because holy crap, it was so much fun.
I don't yet. West Sunday night, probably 8 or 9 p.m. Happy to have you.
I'm in.
Sweet.
Would love it.
Awesome.
It's literally the meanest game I've ever played. And that's saying something because I love take-that games. And it is all the stuff in the 3.5 hour game. Imagine all of that happening in 30 minutes because it's just as mean.
Yeah, it is very mean. Kind of like leaving somebody or killing somebody when you have enough rafts to get off an island for no fucking reason.
Oh, that's a Galapagos story. I could tell. Oh my God, I love that game.
Mike, that game everyone, so I played the game really well. It saved some people, kept the rations for the end, made sure you did the right thing. This one, the entire fucking game, saved one turn because he was forced to do something else because the card told him to. Went to the wreckage every goddamn turn without fail. And Di did the same thing. And Di's in the chat. Thank you, Di. Di did it maybe 80% of the time. Just went to the wreckage to get the stuff.
For the record, I did have the ducky floaty thing, which meant that I could take 2 cards and take the best ones. So that was actually helpful for the group long term if I were to continue to do that sort of thing.
It was it was extremely helpful. It's like the tank, right? Like the tank is going to go and take the brunt of it and the archer is going to pick them up. I get it. And it was extremely helpful until the end of the game where everyone's dead except Mike and West. And there are 2 rafts. There's 2 fucking rafts, Mike. 2 for 2 people. We're good. Do your water, have the water for the day, and have the water for the trip. All West had to do was go get water. You know what West did? Went to the wreckage.
Of course I went to the wreckage. But see, the thing was I misread a card because I thought I had a card that said I had something in my hands that was both water and food. So I was like, oh, well, I'll be great. I'll be completely fine. I can keep doing my searching because then it'll be no big deal. And I was like, no, just get enough for yourself. It'll be fine. I've got plenty. It'll be fine. and then I didn't got plenty. So then I had to shoot Mike.
Yep. Super great.
I
Super
freaking
exciting.
loved that game. It is so fun. I'm so sad I missed out on a chance to play that with you guys. We had an absolute blast with that game. Yeah, you get that one person. Yeah, I'm over here fishing and collecting wood, and that one guy keeps going over and searching through the wreckage because he needs a gun for his bullet, and you know that. And I'm over here being a team player, collecting fish for everybody, not getting bullets for my gun. I love it.
See, the other thing was that like I telegraphed to everyone what my intentions were. I when I got this floaty thing, I said, well, I'm just gonna basically keep doing this thing. Rawr. And then when they started doing the first vote, I told them, I said, if you vote for me, I'm going to shoot the most helpful person that we have in this game, and I'm going to kill him. And everybody was like, yeah, okay, whatever. We've got to vote for him anyway. We've got to, he's got water, we're sure. So they wasted a vote and they killed the most helpful person in the group. It had nothing to do with me. Their actions forced my hand to do that. And then there was Dave who was forced to go get wood several times. But I do believe he actually had a hypodermic needle that he could have saved himself at least once. Yeah, there was definitely that. And
that
then
game is
I made a deal with Di, and I was like, Di, we're in this. We got this whole thing. And then y'all started voting her off, and you were going to kill her. So then I voodoo dolled her back to life again. And then we were almost made it all the way to the end. So, it is what it is. It was probably the most memorable game I've ever played of a game.
The one we played it, I think we played it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave and Di, but I think we played that one on New Year's, and it was fantastic. And it came down to that same kind of thing where everyone's dead. I think Brett had the opportunity to win, but he ended up like using it in a dramatic fashion to kill himself, I think, and save the other person. But yeah, it's got those moments that are very very memorable for sure. You want this?
Mm-hmm. Okay. In my zest to go through the raft, I definitely threw away a fishing rod at one point that looked like it was extremely helpful. But I needed the bullet that I got instead. So
you needed the bullet. See, told you.
I believe it. Yeah,
that was when the face down pile started.
It doesn't say in the rule book face up, face down, huh?
No, it doesn't.
Crazy. All right, so exhibit hall goes 10 to 6, 10 to 4 on Sunday. The first day, Thursday, it actually is 9 because they have whatever they call them. They're not platinum.
VIGs.
No, that's Gen Con. They call them something different.
They're like the VIP
premiums.
Guests, right?
Yeah, premium. They have the premium badges. Yeah. So they get in early on 9 o'clock. So you got to get in there early to make sure your booth is set up. Wednesday set up. Con starts on Thursday. Goes till 6 o'clock. Most people bounce, like you start setting up your booth and resetting and cleaning up so you can get out of there at 6. Some stay a little bit after to restock or to like what we did on Saturday into Sundays. We actually took a couple of the banners down. We didn't have charcuterie had sold out, so we didn't have that really to worry about. So we kind of readjusted like we did at Gen Con last year. We took that giant simulator down, so it was just easier on Sunday. But then 6 o'clock comes around. Just about everyone leaves to go do things, right? To go get dinner or to go hang out with friends. And in true fashion, we decided to do the same thing we did last year and go up that long hallway, up the escalator, and to where the turn is for bar on 2. There are these white tables in this little lounge-looking area, and that's just kind of where we congregated. And there was our group and your group, and then other people that are passing by, coming over and chilling out for a little while. And that's kind of where I hung out for the majority of the show, playing games with people till way late in the morning, way early. I only stayed there early. I adore that. I think that is my favorite part. I love meeting people. I love talking to people. I love being in the booth, and I love the hustle of the event center or the hall. But the after hours, being with people, I can't just give you an entire bag of blueberries. It would be very bad if I gave you
I
an
know.
entire bag of blueberries. What are you? And we got some pictures that we can show about like the stuff that we did or didn't do throughout the con. But before we get into those, because that'll be the next thing. What are your traditions? What are your things that you've done at Origins the times that you've been there, or cons in general, like cons like this, because they are different than just being in a small convention like HughesCon, where it's definitely focused on gaming, right? 24 hours of gaming kind of thing. This one's a little more hustle through this one. What do you do after when 6 o'clock comes, when that bell rings? What do you guys do? What do you look for? What do you appreciate at that point?
For me, I'm usually just walking through the open gaming. There's just so many different people out there playing games, demoing games, play testing, and it's just such a gigantic area, and there's so many tables over there. I just love how much how many opportunities there are to just run into people in the open gaming hall, and the fact that it is connected to the exhibit hall. You don't have to go across the street, you don't have to go to the opposite side of the convention center. It is all just right there. And so just the myriad number of people I would run into just walking through the gaming hall and sit down and chatting and playing a quick game. I just love the opportunity to do that at Origins. It's just so convenient, and it's all just right there.
I think my favorite part of Origins is that there are so many designers there. So it's an opportunity after the hall closes to go hang out with those designers and try some new games, see some new stuff. Now, over this last year, but the year before last when I was there, obviously I spent a good portion of that time with you, and then this year I spent most of that time with Googs. But there were some opportunities where after things were closed down, I got to spend it with some other designers going through some of their new prototypes and opportunities to see what else was out there and things that we might be able to pick up for the company. But I think that Gamma and Origins both do a really good job of having a ton of really interesting designers there that are really looking for that first opportunity, because there are a lot of smaller publishers that are willing to take those pitches. So I think that they feel a little bit more open to discuss those types of things. I mean, I don't know about you, Mike, but I probably had 10 to 15 people that came in and were just like pitching ideas at the booth directly. I mean, they just walked up and were like, "Hey, I'm a designer and I'm interested in talking to you guys about some opportunities that I have available. Do you have a second?" And obviously, sometimes we did, sometimes we didn't, but they would drop off their sheets like crazy.
Yeah.
Which I think is it's harder to do that at Gen Con because you are never not busy at Gen Con. When that door opens, you are stuck. And I think that's something else that's great about Origins, is it feels a little bit more open and a little bit more opportunity for those types of situations to happen.
It's definitely slower.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said at the top, you have more opportunity to talk to people. Not only your booth staff or when friends stop by to ask you how you're doing, but you actually have time to talk to the people that if you think about it, the people that we do this for, right? We create these games for the hobbyists, for the fans, for those that want to play with their family or those that want to play with their significant other or their parents or whatever it is. And you get to talk to those people and chat about. It was a 20-minute conversation about the Columbus Blue Jackets because I'm a huge hockey fan, and the Blue Jackets minor league used to be in Syracuse. So we talked about, I traded stories from like they're watching them on a national level, but we were watching them on the AHL level, and they would get called up and play on the big stage. But we'd be walking to parking garages with them and get these like little insider, like little digs on people and like just whatever it was like to like play with this person or what the fuck was wrong with the ref. Like you get a little bit of these stories on the back end. And I had the opportunity to talk to this guy and his wife about the Blue Jackets because they're huge fans and they go to the arena a lot. And I'm not in Columbus. I have to hope that they do better so they're there in the finals, which might not ever happen. I can't do that shit in Indy. You got 30 seconds to a minute before someone's shooting you daggers from 3 deep because you're talking to somebody a little bit too long about your game. Like it gets to be a little bit chaotic, but
yeah,
it is a great opportunity for designers to come up to you or media to come up and say, hey, how can we work together? How can I help? Because you have that opportunity. You can set up the calendar link and go make an appointment. Gen Con is not that. You cannot do that. And you structure it well enough to, like what I did, you have your meetings, and then I took a break from my meetings. I had a gap so no one could do meetings to let the staff go and the volunteers go, whatever you want to call them, get lunch and stuff. Then they come back and I do a couple meetings and then decompress at the end. So you can structure it as much as you want, but there were plenty of people that came over like, you taking pictures? Yeah, let me see. Like, I got some time. What am I going to lean? What am I going to do?
Right.
So I got some stuff. I met the designer of Steampunk Rally. I had I would have never met that person had I not been like, let me see what you got. I could have been like, no, you got to go through the submission process and send the emails and do. No, like, come in the booth. Show me what you got. And a lot of times you need that because they don't know how to do sell sheets. Sell sheets are brutal. They're so hard to look at sometimes. So like, I remember I saw one and I was just like, oh, really? And then there was something there. You kind of see something. You're like, yeah, let me see it. Like, whatever. I'll take a shot at it. Maybe it's a connection. Hey, it's not for me, but have you met my friend West? You know what I mean? Like those kind of things. And then they showed me the game, like same sell sheet they put on the table. And I had that like cringe. And then they started going over the game because it didn't have the 1, 2, 3, and it didn't really have a good presence. And I was like, oh, wow, this is completely different than that sell sheet made it look to be. It was really, really fun. And you have that at this convention. You have that at the smaller conventions. This is definitely more industry focused, right? You got those, the hustlers like Daryl that's walking, maybe not Daryl now, but Daryl used to be with the suitcase full of pitches, or like Julio does it a lot when he goes to conventions, just suitcases of pitches. And you could do that here, right? Like you have that opportunity to be like, hey, come in, talk to me about yourself. Like, what do you got? This isn't for me, but I like where your head's at. I like what you're thinking. We should keep in touch.
Yeah, it's a very, very different place. I always, when people ask me what convention should you go to, the big three, the PAX, the Gen Con, the Origins, my answer to them is always, if you've never been to one before, you should always start at Origins because it is the best big little convention that you can go to. You still get that big experience, but it's small enough to not be massively overwhelming. But I think everyone should go to Gen Con at least once because it's just such a crazy experience. There's so much to do there, and you have to spend like 3 days there or you're going to miss half of it because there's just so much to see. And I don't hate that at all. Like, I mean, gosh, I was at Essen. Essen was amazing, but Essen is like 5 Gen Cons. There's 5 halls that are the size of the average Gen Con hall. It's insane. And like, there's still ways to do it to make it work extremely well, and to Essen proves it. There's tons of ways to put all of that stuff together if you've got the right situation. And I think Gen Con does a good job of doing a lot of it, but I think there's still areas where everybody can always improve. But Gen Con is one that you have to go to at least once, you just to see it, just to be as crazy as it is. But I think if I only went to one big convention a year, it would 100% be Origins. I just think Origins is it's that good of a smallish big convention to truly feel like, yeah, this is a great place. I don't ever feel overwhelmed there. I don't feel like I'm not going to get to see everything. I don't feel like I can take breaks and breathers and I'm just going to miss out. I have a horrible fear of missing out. I think Origins is fantastic for that reason.
And PAX is completely different too. Like you can compare Origins to Gen Con pretty tightly because it's got a lot of the same publishers, a lot of the same games, a lot of the same people. Like I saw you at Origins and I saw that thing and now I want to pick it up at Gen Con, or I'm here now. We have the game in the library, or we have it in my local community. Let me play it and I'll see you at Gen Con. But PAX had more people than Origins, but it's a completely different crowd, right? It's closer to the holidays. People are tight on their budget. They're looking for gifts, whatever they're doing. It's got a completely different crowd of people. And I think if you to piggyback on what you just said, if you do Origins, Origins is the one to hit because it's got a lot of really good things going for it. Gen Con is bonkers. You should definitely experience it once. But then Origins and PAX is a great 1-2 combo because you see a lot of different things there.
The other thing to like about Origins, you can actually walk around at your own pace.
Yeah.
It is not just shoulder to shoulder, just fighting through the crowd, which can get a bit tiring after several days of it.
Yeah.
Origins offers you that opportunity to actually walk.
Yeah.
And not constantly be nudging people, which is nice.
Yeah. Agreed. I know. I'm a kid, Kabuki. Sorry. I have a friend. I've been getting pictures of. That sounds weird. Of just pictures, and one of the T-shirts promotes a company, and it has a. I'm just a child, and I see a word in it, and I just giggle every time I see the word, whether it's on the table or the wall or on whatever. I'm just a child. It'll always be that way. No, what was?
I'm going to assume that he's probably talking about the playtest that the Kibi folks and Brandon and I did of Andrew's game. It was a great. I had so much fun. I think truly, if you know me, you know that I find the fun in every situation, and that there's an opportunity. If you ever hear me just giggle, something's going to happen. Something's about to go down, and it's going to be a thing. And in Andrew's game, it was all about tulips, and it's a very interesting trick taker. There's two different tricks happening at the same time, and you have to grab tulips from the locations, and then you keep them next to you, and then you've got these cards that you're putting the tulips on top of to score points at the end. And most people would be trying to score those tulips as fast as they can. Me, on the other hand, I want to take that element in every game, and I saw that Alicia really needed yellow tulips. So I took it as an opportunity to take every single yellow tulip out of the market, even though I had not a single request for yellow tulips as far as customers were going. But I literally took every single yellow tulip that there ever was, and I had a great time. I truly had the greatest time ever. There were even these little bugs that you could do to get, like, if it was you could win a hand automatically if you had a dragonfly. So whenever I was taking tulips, I always took one that had the dragonfly. So that way I would automatically win that. So then I would put down the shittiest card possible, even offsuit even. And I would win automatically because I had the little dragonfly. So yes, I was hate drafting to beat the band and having an absolute blast the entire time, giggling out loud, laughing so hard. It was yes, that was the laughter you were hearing the entire time. I had an absolute blast. It was wonderful.
Some might even.
It's kind of like making people wait 15 minutes in a game that's already over, and all you have to do is one thing. But no, I'm just gonna have fun because this is my world, and I'm gonna do what I want.
Now, see, Alicia has an excellent point to say here. Even though I was hate drafting her like crazy, it was the most that she'd left playing in a game in a very long time. So clearly, it was a great day for everybody.
Yeah.
And poor Andrew, I felt so bad for him because obviously this is a game that he's still working on and having and trying to get people to play test it, and then here I am just trying to find a way to break it and having way too much fun doing it.
But that's super positive, though, right? Like, I don't know anything about the game, but when I was with Floodgate, one of the things was like, "Welcome to Floodgate. Please break our games." If you're exploiting a thing that's not meant to be there, that could have shown Andrew, like, "Oh wait, I need to," because there are people like you out there in game groups that would ruin it for everybody. So if that's a thing that a thread you started pulling, and it's not intended. And it's great that this is even fantastic feedback for that too, right? Because if that was a great moment for everybody at the table and everyone was having fun and it wasn't intended, cool. If it's not supposed to be there and it wasn't intended, cool. So on both sides, it's like you have a great opportunity to fix or lean into something you never even thought about, right?
Right. Yeah. I had an absolutely wonderful time. It was ridiculously entertaining, and I'm always the person that I try to find that that little kernel of take that is in every single game, and I don't care whether I win or lose. I just want to have a really good time. Night, Steve.
Steven, good night, Steven. Thank you again for Steven got me a birthday gift. It's a little Lego set of Boba Fett starship. It's Slave One in one of those little packages. Slave One with Boba Fett and the Lego, and I appreciate that very much. So thank you. Have a good night. It was great seeing you, buddy. Hope all is good.
Now, so he got you a birthday gift, and did you hesitate opening it?
I didn't open it. I'm not going to put together a little Lego set while I'm at Origins while I'm hanging out with friends playing games. Why would I do that?
Did you like look at what that gift was prior to? Because he gave it to you, I'm assuming, in some sort of packaging, and then you like you saw what it was. You like took it out of the bag or unwrapped it or whatever.
Handed it to me. It was open. I saw the box. You, on the other hand, want to hide shit, and you I know how you like to fuck around. So when you give me a brown bag and a bottle after what you pulled with the dumb Malort shit, yeah, I'm going to question what's in that bag that I can't see from you. Mike, probably not so much. Tim, probably not so much. You, yes, every time.
Interesting. I mean, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It was a great gift, right?
Yeah, you can lean into it now because obviously you knew what was in there and you set it up to be like, I can't wait to open this thing and see what the fuck you did to it. Yeah, because I know this agent of chaos thing, right? Like, I get it. I know what you're doing. You plant seeds and it happens. So, and you lean into it. You pull that thread. I get it. I know. I've learned from you. I get it.
Just for those of you who don't know, I gave Mike a wonderful birthday present, and I told him, "Hey, the only request I have is that we take a shot of this." And you know what? The one thing we didn't do all week was
take a shot
we
of
didn't take a shot of this.
Mm.
It was very sad.
Well, it's also like I don't want to go rocking around bottles of liquor in different, especially in bars. Like I don't need to ruin that situation, right? So the convention in September, like we'll all partake because we'll all be together.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Also,
definitely.
You said I could do with my present what I wanted, and I wanted to make sure all my friends were around when that happened, so then I can share with everybody.
Yeah. No, I understand. I get it. I just thought it was weird you didn't want to open your present for everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody else understood. They knew. Like they were waiting for that thing to be something worse or something equally as bad. I'm sure they all no one was like, no, Wes wouldn't do that to you. Everyone was like, yeah, no, suspect. Like that's going to be something.
What stock flavored Malort?
Yeah, it would have been Malort in a bottle of something else. Like he would have resealed it. I wouldn't be surprised if a shrink wrap machine and he put it in and sealed it up. Like everyone at that table, there were what? Brandon, Nicole were there, Eric and Alicia, Dave and Di. Everyone was there. I guarantee you it would have been unanimous that they all thought something bad was in that bag.
It's fair. It's very fair. Yeah. The desire I had to put that alcohol in a bottle of Malort was so incredibly high. It was so incredibly high. But I didn't. I was a good boy. I left it where it was, and maybe next time not so much. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't do Buffalo Trees either. That I'm going to bring with me to your place in August, and then the other thing we'll do in September.
That's cool. Cool. I'll bring some good stuff with me too.
Wait a minute. Is Mike coming up here in August? Did I hear that correctly?
Nobody.
Well, to Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close. No cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be around. That's for sure. What are we doing here, buddy? What are you doing? Sorry, I have a human on my lap.
I see that.
I'm eating Batman.
That's Ant-Man.
Watching Batman?
It's Ant-Man. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. Ant-Man. Who's this? Who's back here? Look over here. Who's that?
Rocco.
Good job.
And that Batman.
Nope, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Yep. You'll get it.
Who's his favorite of the comic book people?
He loves Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He'll watch that Spider-Man and Friends cartoon. He knows if I had them anywhere nearby, he would give you their names and their secret identity. He knows Miles, he knows Gwen, and he knows Peter. He knows their secret identities.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So, can you say hi to West? Say hi, West.
Thanks for letting me in, buddy. Aw. You're the best.
And who's that?
Who's that? That's Mike.
That Mike.
Say hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hi.
Oh, he got very excited about Mike. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got
That Batman.
Ant-Man. Who's that?
Who?
Who's that?
Superman.
Who's that? It's not. Who's that?
Black Panther.
Black Panther. Who's that?
Who's that?
Who's that?
I know.
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Who's that?
Iron Man.
Who's that?
Captain America.
Good job. I mean,
Nice.
he's spot on.
That's
Except
awesome.
for that being Superman. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. Well,
It's the hair.
It is the hair. Look, Alicia says she loves Spider-Man too. You love Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we talked a little bit about how great Origins is.
Yes.
It's not without its flaws for sure. It's not like we're saying it's the best convention to go to, but it is a lot of fun for a lot of good reasons. One of them being the people in the industry. The people in the what do you got? You want to read the story? Is it story time? He's a ham, man. He's a ham. One of it being the industry. The industry is. Can I? This is my segment. Can I do it? You want to do it?
Anymore. It was your segment, Mike.
It was. I took over. That's it. I'm just gonna sit here. Let me know how it goes, and I'll set up the banners and stuff. Yeah,
Sounds
go
good.
watch. Go watch. Go ahead. So, a lot of the reason I love these things is because of the people. The industry, and I've said this on the show multiple times, the industry is full of some of the best people I've ever met. Some of my best friends now. And when you get to talk to people that are doing the thing, playing with the stuff that we create, they really are good people. So a lot of this stuff is about those people. And whether they're publishers or designers or wherever they are in the hobby, just players, just games, people that like the games you've made. I adore being around those people. And we are lucky enough to live in an age where we can document being around those people in multiple ways, being pictures and videos, which I believe we have a lot of, not a lot of, but we have a lot of. So I'm going to bring up another screen and Mike is going to start. This is where I fuck it up. So get ready. Mike is going to start going through some of the stuff and we'll laugh and we'll make fun of each other and it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's funny on a regular day-to-day basis. I'm not much of a picture taker. Where is that screen? There it is. But when I go on vacations, when I go to conventions, I take as many freaking pictures as I can. And I'm like mad at myself when I come back and find out there were people I hung out with that I didn't get pictures with. So yeah, I think pictures are some of the most fun ways to kind of relive these events. So I'm starting here with all of Mike's pictures.
Perfect. You're gonna set the stage with mine. Cool. You're all fucked now. Yeah, I think this was the last night, right? This was Sunday night.
It was, yeah. It was Sunday night. Or Saturday night. Sunday morning.
Saturday night. Yeah, Sunday night we were all driving somewhere. I'll send it to you, Eric, as soon as you send me the information I want.
I need that too.
Yeah.
But preferably in a link that like you can actually send to me as opposed to just like waiting,
No,
Oh,
different.
Different. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's our good friend Wes there is over there on the left. And then there's a little Syracuse connection there between Marcus in the back. From QSCOM. I met him through you. And then Jess and Chad, who are friends of mine from local. And then you got Brandon and Nicole, who's in the chat. Where's Brandon? Hope Brandon is around. Say hi. And then Eric is actually standing 10 feet away from all of us, but he's so damn tall that it looks like he's sitting right there. And Alicia. And predominantly, we were hanging out with this crowd and a bunch more, which you'll see every night. And like I said, we were sitting there and we were talking, like people would just stop by, whether they were in the industry, designers and publishers, or they were just friends or just people we met. There were people that we met on the floor during the day that were like, oh, you know what? You should probably come because you got a good vibe. These kind of moments are my favorite. They're friends, obviously, but having the ability to be around these people that you don't live near and you don't get to hang out with that often. And Chad and Jess, obviously, a little bit different because I see them because they're local, and West obviously because we have every Friday night we're doing a show and driving each other crazy. But it's those moments that happen, and the picture only tells a little bit of the story, right? Because everything that was happening prior to this is just becomes super fun and reinforces, and it's refreshing, but it reinforces why we kind of do these things, because it can be hard on our end, right? Going through a Kickstarter and dealing with scumbags that are giving you bullshit questions and causing whatever, it can get you, it can kick you a couple times, and then you get around these people that are doing the same thing that you're doing and are living off the stuff together with you, and it's refreshing. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a great weekend. I can't change the pictures. That's on you, Mike.
I got you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, this was your I'm just gonna go get a slice of pizza moment.
Yeah,
you left for like an hour and a half.
I was told the only thing I needed to do this weekend was to go out for a slice of pizza on my birthday with Daryl. That's what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was this. And Mikey's late night is great. It's right across the street. It's not far. So really, in theory, you could be there and back in about 10 minutes with a slice of pizza.
But it was like end of the line where it's 3.5 hours.
Yeah. So you're familiar with that thing. Yeah. Yeah. And it just happens like the people that you go with, and then you're with a cohort of friends in the industry and people that they know that you don't know. So you're talking to people.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. What the context here is that Mike had said, "Hey, you're not leaving yet, right?" And then we were like, "Yeah, no, we'll be here." And he goes, "Oh, okay, cool. I'm just gonna leave my stuff here because I'm gonna go get a slice of pizza with Daryl." And we're like, "Oh, okay, cool." And like 2 hours later, he finally comes strolling back in. So
yeah, it was a good slice of pizza.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Is that my haul? Yeah,
that's your haul. So, Mike, I got a question. Did you actually use your coupon to get the mat, or did you just take one? Because I heard there was a miscommunication about this, and people were returning back to Game Topper to get their mats with their coupons, and nobody was there.
I went there around 3:00 on Sunday, an hour before the hall closed, because Jess and Chad, who were in the previous picture, came to the booth and said, "Hey, they're selling these mats, and you can pick them up at 4:00 on Sunday." And I'm like, "Well, what are they?" And they're like, "Oh, this is orange mat with crit, and it's got the Tabletopper logo, but they're 8 feet long, which is great for a long convention table."
I need one of those.
I have no idea how messy they're going to be. Right, the majority of the ones that they had there, like they may have had them for a couple of years, but they got some cup rings on them, and I'm sure people have spilled. So you had some choice, but I had no idea like what to do. Also, as an exhibitor, you're at 4:00 having a 7-hour trip back to the house. At 4:00, I want to pack the fuck up and leave. I don't want to stand in a line and wait for this thing. So I went over there not knowing what was going on, and I'm like, "Hey, where do I go? What do I do? I have this thing with like you told them to put their badge numbers on it. So cool. I picked one up for Jess and Chad, and I got one for myself. So I went over at 3:00. I didn't know who to talk to, so I went over to like whatever event HQ or something. And I'm like, so what do I do? Because I need to be packing up at 4:00. Like I need to be at my booth, but I don't want to like monkey fuck around and try and figure out where I'm supposed to be. And they let me get it earlier, so I got it about an hour earlier, which it didn't seem like there was a concern, because there were plenty of tables that had these on them when I was there. And then when I got there. Thank you, Andrew. It was pretty amazing. When I got there, they had these things on the tables, and they had taped to them a sign that said, this thing is for sale. And what I was told when I got there was, you can go over to that area, and anyone that still has that sticker on it, you can take. Like, okay. So I was escorted like I was going to the principal's office. It was hysterical. And the guy was like, you can select from these that are over here. Like you take any two you want. So like you're looking at the ones that have like a lot of stains on them and maybe a cup ring in a corner or something like that. And there were two next to each other that looked fine for what I'm using it for. Monkey fuck. Yeah, I use that a lot. I got that from my dad. So I just rolled it. I'm like, you mind if I beforehand, before I walked over to the principal's office, I asked if I could take him. And he's like, yeah, go ahead. So I rolled him up, brought him back to the booth. Probably 315, I would say, roughly. But there were plenty of them that still had those pieces of paper taped to them on there. I didn't want to go through them all because I wanted to get back to the booth. But yeah, I don't know how they could have fucked that up.
Yeah, there were reports of people going over there at 4:00 when they were supposed to, and nobody was there. So I don't know. Just wonder.
Curious if they went. It was not apparent where to go because it is Game Toppers. So initially you'd think like you go to Game Toppers, but I went to the other side. It was, like the library is on the right side in the back hall, like you know where the library was. It was on the opposite side of that hall, widthwise, not lengthwise. And there was like event HQ or event information or something. That's where I went and I asked the guys and they knew what they were doing. Like they kept my ticket. They didn't have any other tickets, but they knew exactly what the deal was. And the dude I talked to clarified with the rest of the group that was there, do you know how to handle this? And everyone was like, well, has anything changed since we were told? And he's like, no, it's the same thing. They come with a ticket. They can go over there. They have a taped thing on it and they can select from anyone that's there. But there were also ones that didn't have anything taped to them. So if the theory is anything that has a taped sign on it was the ones you can take,
right,
and the ones that didn't have a taped thing on it were the ones you couldn't take, then it seemed pretty straightforward. Like there wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty solid.
Good.
So looking at your hall here, I'm seeing a couple of things that I'm very excited about. NAR.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that NAR was there. So that's cool.
It wasn't there.
Well, how did you get it then?
Right. So at Leprechaun, a certain attendee ended up. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was at the gathering.
Sorry.
It was at gathering. A certain attendee ended up taking it from gathering and putting it in their bag. So they put it in my birthday bag, and it still had my little painter's tape on it with Googs. But technically, it was part of my haul. Like I brought it back from Oregon, so I put it.
Yeah.
Love it. And go down a couple more, Mike. So yeah, all right. Obviously Panda Royale, super exciting. There's that silver one right there in the middle. I think I know what that one is too, because I'm pretty sure that you and I played that once as well.
Tellstones?
Tellstones, yeah.
Yeah, so most conventions, most big conventions, there's someone that will put together a virtual flea market on BGG. And that acts as a place for you to sell stuff. And then you meet up at a certain designated location and time at the main convention and trade wares. And I was told about it, and I shouldn't have been told about it, but I went through all 300 pages of it. And there were some things that were hard to pass up. And that was one of them. And the guy wanted $10 for it. And
wow, what a good deal.
Oh, it was great. It's out of print. It's super fun. It doesn't have the package, like the wrap around it. But for those, if by chance anyone watching was part of that, everyone was super chill coming by the booth early because it was Saturday morning at 9:00, but the hall opened Thursday. So if you wanted to unload it and maybe have some spending money, or you just didn't want to worry about it, like carrying it around, I let everybody know I was at this booth. And if you want to come, cool. And the majority saved two. Everyone, not that I bought a ton, which whatever. They all came by the booth. They all kind of hung out, like came by, said thank you. Like it was cool to meet people as well. But yeah, that was one of the ones that was in the flea market. Go away.
Is that also how you got Gears of War? Because you can't get that game anywhere right now.
Sure did.
Nice. Good find there.
That's a hard thing to find. The mission packs are harder to find. That one itself is harder to find too.
And you got the current number of the beast. That's probably my absolute favorite game that they put out. That is an awesome game.
$2.
It's your second copy. It was $2.
It's sealed. It's not even open.
It's so good. If anyone has an opportunity to get this game, it is great. You just add one house rule. You can play the cards on anyone's stack. It doesn't matter. That game is a absolute banger. It's ridiculously fun. Don't you already have the thing, or is this like some additional doohickey?
No, I don't own it.
Whose thing were we playing with at the gathering?
I
That's
think
gonna go down. Just click on that one.
I'm pretty sure. Whose thing were we playing? B. Yep, marker created.
That game is so fun.
Yeah, Dave bought it and brought it with him. We were playing
Oh,
Dave's copy. I didn't own it. And then Jess and Chad were at Millennium one day, and she was sending me pictures of like their used section, and I was like, hey, do they have a copy? Because it was right after the gathering. I said, do they have a copy of the thing? Which is weird because Jess and Chad don't live far away from me here in Syracuse. And we exchanged, like they gave me the games in Ohio because we just, calendar stuff. It happens.
Sure.
Yep.
And Sumo, obviously, there in the middle is a great game that you picked up from, an absolutely adoring fan. But I believe it came from the UK Games Expo, didn't it?
I don't know about fan. I mean, I'm honored if you're a fan of mine. But yeah, that came all the way from the UK. From West. He leaned into the whole, it's got the whole diaper that you got to wear and you got to challenge each other. It's not. It's a small card game that apparently is pretty good.
It's really good. I know that they're going to be at Gen Con, but I don't know that they're going to be able to get more of the game in, unfortunately. So, but if they do have it at Gen Con, man, people watching the stream need to go pick it up because it's fun. It's really fun.
So you say. And
I see there's a amazing sticker there too. Wow.
There's a lot of amazing things there. Like that signed fanny pack from the Tiny Game series from Emborn.
I do hope that we get to watch that video.
Yeah, I'm sure hopefully you sent it. Although I heard you're kind of light on what you sent to Mike for this thing. Yeah, that obviously fanny pack was one of the things I wanted to walk away from the con with. And I let Matthew know, like, I want a fanny pack. In the background there behind my sticker, there's a set of dice with crit inside the dice. Basically a D&D set of dice, the D4, the D20, which I think was kind of cool. Those Ahsoka, the sticker and the pin from this company. I wish I knew the name. I have his card. I don't know where the card is. I don't know where the card is, but I can post a link. We'll talk about it on Friday too. Yeah, but that sticker is fucking huge. It's a big sticker.
Yeah, it looks like it's taking up almost the entire fanny pack. And
yeah, like if that's the sticker and that's my phone, like it's a big thing.
Yeah. It's larger than life almost.
Yeah. It is. It's no, I think it's about a life-size sticker of me. I think.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, like look at the size of our heads right there. They're almost pretty spot on.
It is really close, yeah.
But yeah, West got what Bianca did for us on the Friday show, the two caricatures of us. He had stickers made and gave them to me there, and it does have good old Dave hanging out with his bow tie and the Malort bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So yeah. Which
nice.
Thank you again, my friend, for these. These are fantastic.
Of course.
Yeah.
And now you can start stickering your own games as opposed to, putting weird pieces of tape on them.
Definitely not happening. I will use painter's tape all day because it comes off very easily.
I mean, it's because you're going to give those games away. You're going to sell them at some point.
No, I don't sell any game.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Just put your sticker on them then.
I do.
It's so weird. I'm not doing that. Also, I need, what's my collection? 5,000. I need 5,000 stickers. I'm not that self-centered. I'm going to put my own sticker on my own games.
How many games do you actually take with you to these different conventions? A couple hundred stickers is probably all you really need. Your traveling collection.
I took a bag. Well, there's about 1,200 that I bring to QsCon.
Yeah, but that's different.
They're on a rack, but I brought a bag that didn't even leave the car this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I felt at Gen Con last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I was super happy with the event merch that they had. That crit in the background. The one in the foreground on the left is a keychain.
Oh,
The
shoot.
Go back. The one in the back there is a big. It's a big. He's pretty chunky. Like he's a nice, really well done.
Yeah.
Like it's got the origins thing there, and
Nice.
I got that for Luca. I got the smaller one for Mika. The Kobold is from 9th level. The darker orange guy there with the greeny smile. That's from 9th level. There are a lot of great things. Like I could talk about every one of these individually, but yeah, it was that was my haul.
It's a good haul. It's a very nice haul.
Yeah, there's some stuff like one of the Jedi duels or the epic duels, the Star Wars epic duels. I've been hunting that one at a good price for a while. It's for those that know the Renegade series, Unmatched, the redo Unmatched. It's based on the epic duels line. And those that know me know I'm a Star Wars fan, so that's been on my radar. Try and get a good copy of that for a while. But I got to give a shout out to Sam while we're on this picture, because I don't know if there's another one coming up. But Sam from BA Games, a couple shows ago, it feels like it was a couple shows ago. It was probably a couple months or more. We played Forges of Ravenshire on the show, and I know the Rundown folk adore that game. I've talked to you all about it, and you guys, you were right. And then we played it on the show, and it is solid. And I was very much looking forward to grabbing that at the show at Origins because I want a physical copy. I love the digital version. I like the ability to be able to play digitally with people. And it was great to play, like obviously play with Chris on Mondays and play with West on Fridays and be able to play with Sam because he's out in Nebraska. But what I wanted was a physical copy of that game so we could play it on the show at some point because there's no hidden information.
Right.
And shipping screwed him. We talked about it earlier. Like Origins isn't necessarily like it's bad, but it's not Gen Con. But he had his brother sitting down in Orlando because he was told that the shipping was going to arrive, and then he was going to truck it up and be there by Saturday. So he had demo copies, he had the buzz, but he didn't have any copies. And like I would have bought a demo copy. Like I just wanted that game, and it's whatever. Like cool. Like, not a problem. I don't care. I'm not going to bitch about it. I'll just pick up a copy at Gen Con, like, and then I'll just promote you after. But then the fuckage with the shipping, like, it can really hurt a company that's trying to make their way through this industry. So I walked at the end of the show on Sunday. I was walking around and wanted to go say goodbyes to people. And I come back and Brett, who was in the booth, was like, yeah, so somebody came by and they wanted to do a trade or whatever, and I hope you're all right with it. And he lifted up whatever was on top, and it was a copy of this. Apparently one of the media folk that he set that aside for didn't show, so he gave it to me. That's awesome. We will end up playing. We are absolutely playing that game.
Yeah, for sure. It's great.
It's going to be the next Prize and Punishment game, I believe, is going to be a game.
Cool.
But it's so solid. It's such a good game, and he is an awesome human. So if you are watching this and you're looking for something to pick up, it's dice worker placement. Everything makes sense. It's beautiful. The art is beautiful. The way the game flows is beautiful. Can I turn this off?
It's a fantastic game. I've played it multiple times, and it just sings. It's such a fun, entertaining, really well thought out game. I love it.
I described it in our review as my new cozy game. Just everything feels good and it's satisfying. And it's not like terribly crunchy, but yet there's still a bevy of options, but every turn just feels good. But additionally, what kind of person requests a review copy and doesn't show up for it?
I had three.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm still humbled by the fact that I can go up to publishers and get review games. What kind of person doesn't show up for their review copy?
Things happen, right? Like I get it. Things run over. It happens. I don't
honor
care.
Your commitment.
You don't show up, cool. Like that's great. Whatever. I'll remember that.
I'm glad you guys got one. That's great.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that one.
Good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like I said, I would have taken one of the dirty demo copies, right? just to be able to play it on the show, just to support. Because Sam, if
That's
you don't
amazing.
know Sam, if you haven't had an opportunity to meet Sam, he's a great person. And he's running. He's got some stuff over there. When he came out in the cultist robe and he was doing the Cult of the Deep giveaway on Saturday, like he's just a fun character. And he's a good person. He's one of those people in the industry that's just, he's one of those guys you want to talk to.
One of the good ones.
Yeah, he's one of the good ones for sure.
VA Games was kind of one of the first channels that took note of us reviewing their games, and we forged a relationship with them very early, and they're wonderful people.
Yeah. And if you haven't heard Sam tell his story about the swing, whoa, that's a story that just sings.
I got him 3 times this weekend.
Did you really?
The Kiwi folk were walking around, and he was on his phone in the back of the booth, and I was like, they said something about having a meeting or whatever. So I was like, all right, go around like the hall, like the aisle. And I went through the booth and got behind him and just got to his hips when he turned around. I was like, you fuck. And then he was sitting down counting something and came up and I got him. And you could see him be like, like he knows he got. It was great.
For those of you who don't know, he went to this Airbnb and there was this creepy old guy who was showing some cars and stuff. And he was like, hey, I've got the swing out back. And Sam's like, oh, okay, whatever. And the guy's like, you want to try it? And Sam's like, sure. And he sits down in the swing, and you're a grown man sitting in a swing. The last thing you expect is for somebody to come up behind you and just grab your hips and gently swing you in the swing. It's very disconcerting. And so that's what it is. So every time I see him or he sees me, because of that whole story, we like grab each other and like gently support you in a swinging fashion. And it is it does not feel good when someone comes up behind you and grabs you like that. But now you're like, oh, it's Sam. All right, that's fine.
That's a bit weird.
I only got him twice, so the fact that you got him 3 times is awesome.
Yeah, I got him 3 times. It was great. Right
it.
at the end when he was sitting at the end on Sunday, when he was sitting down counting all his event tickets. He was awesome. Sitting down and I came up behind him and got him.
Even better. Oh, it's so good.
I'm gonna keep moving on these.
See that's what you should be doing for all of the games, but
that's not really on there. That's just to bust your balls. It's just laying on top of it. Also, and we talked about this earlier. While you have that picture up, which was intentional, West has been bothering the fuck out of me all day to open up this box, and I'm like, haha, funny. He put something in it. Okay, fine. And then we had this trash can thing that happened over the weekend, which I'll never forget about, which is, if you can't, I don't think you can see it, but it's hysterical right there.
See you, Andrew. Thanks for tuning in.
Funny. You going to bed? All right. Good night. This is also really funny, Eric. So he's been bothering me all day to open it up, and I think it's hysterical. He put something to do with a trash can in there. Funny. Or which he swears he didn't do. He took components out of the game to be a shit.
I would never do that. I can't.
Right,
That's too far.
Whatever. Something easily replaceable, right? Like, I get it. So I did say, he's like, just open it. Just open the lid. I'm like, funny, whatever. I told him that I would open it on camera.
Good.
Okay. So I'm going to take it and open it on camera.
Okay. Just, man, maybe turn Luca's head away. The giant wiener is probably not.
No, my son is standing right here, so I'm not even going to look. You're saying look at the lid, right? The under
Just
the
look
lid?
inside the lid. Just remember, I was there first.
You were?
Yeah.
You were? Okay. So I'm going to, how do I do this? Let me drop this for a second. Let me make this bigger. Nope, That's not the one. There it is. Okay, so I'm just going to show you on the lid.
See? Ha ha! Oh, you son of a bitch. You opened it already. Uh-huh.
Yep. So, funny.
That's fair.
Yeah. And while I'm dancing around back here, get this game.
Yeah, that's a really good game. If you haven't played it, it's fantastic.
25th Century, Inca Marcus brand. I mean, they do great stuff, but it's really fun.
Yep.
Okay, so haha, you're hysterical, Wes. Good job. Nope, that's not the one. Which is the one I want? Oh, this is the one I want. Cool.
Where'd it go? There you go.
I had to bring it back up. Yeah, so Kiwi folk again. They've been coming. I met them last year at Origins with this game, which we've talked about already, which 3WS has signed. I played it in the booth. It was one of those moments like you're meeting people in the booth, and you have the opportunity to play things like this at Origins where you don't necessarily have that at Gen Con. And Alicia fucking housed me in that game. Like as a demo, or like to show off as a pitch, there were no holes barred. Like it was a brutal beating, which led to an amazing evening with you and Andrew and Evan and Dave and Di and others that I'm forgetting at the moment. Mm-hmm. Tim was there. Yeah. Mike was there. I think there might have been others.
Andrew Styles.
Andrew was there. It was 3.5 hours. Who?
Wasn't Eric there too?
Not the first night, no.
No? Okay.
No, because I sent him a message the next day and said, hey, you have a chance to come by the booth. Basically, we ripped your game apart. But it led to one of my most favorite memories, being there with those people, playing through the game over and over, trying to just pick each other's brains about how to fix something. And we did, and then we broke it a completely different way. And it was such an epic thing. So last year at Origins, I met this crew. Eric and Alicia, Nick and Melissa weren't there. They were there this year, so it was great to hang out. I had met them before, or we hung out before. But then it led to, this year there were new people involved, right? Like Nicole and Brandon are now new to the thing, and Nick and Melissa hung out with us there. And it's got one of those, it's just got the meaning behind of what I do, at least in my perspective. It just reinforces why what I do is important and why it's important. Meeting with people, giving people opportunity. If you don't like it, show it to somebody else. Like you don't have to be a dick in this industry at all. You can be supportive, and there are people that don't deserve the support. There are people that don't deserve the kindness, and it's few and far between in this industry. And there are just some people that are amazing, and this crew that I've gotten to know over the past year are part of that. And I'm not saying that because you're in the chat. You know how I feel about you guys, but legitimately, you have an opportunity to meet people that are just you don't get to see all the time, and you wouldn't be able to meet without the opportunities that a convention like this brings. And I just love it. I love it.
Also, worth noting, is this a perspective thing, or is this guy back here actually taller than Eric? Because
I feel like he's like 9 feet tall, man. He's huge.
Yeah, I mean seriously.
He does look kind of big. It could be a perspective thing, man. Yeah,
it might be. Does Eric remember turning around and seeing someone equaling his height? Because good God.
Well, so fun fact, to take that picture, Eric had a kneel. No, legit. Eric's like 6'7". He's a big dude. And for those, I don't know if I showed it on this show a while ago, but when Eric was in town, there's a picture of him and I walking in the mall, like over to where we meet on Tuesdays, and there's that I Heart New York thing, and it looks like Dad brought his son to the mall. There's such a massive difference between him and I. It's ridiculous.
I was just gonna make the dad-son joke, and you made it for me. It's beautiful.
Oh no, we have the picture to back it up. Like it looks legit, and it the best part about it. Not only there's a mosquito. I fucking hate mosquitoes. God damn it! Fuck you. The picture is legit. Like it does show off the height difference, but it looks like I did something bad. Like if you put in a theme of like him being the dad and me being the son, it looks like he's scalding me for doing something. It's hysterical. Alicia caught us in like mid conversation about something, and it just looks like he's angry as fuck at me. It's really awesome. Good. Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Same. Yeah, that was the cheese bag that one of our backers decided she wanted to bring and have me autograph.
Missed that chance.
Just bring it with you in September, buddy.
Okay.
That was us. That was the morning of the last day on Sunday, and that's Dave and Di, who also have become tremendous friends of mine.
Agreed.
They came to QSCon, was their first convention, board game convention.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and we've just met. One year it was Dave and Di, and then the following year it was Chad and Jess, and it's been really cool. They're great people. They're also in the chat. Maybe they went to bed. I don't know if Dave might not be able to stay up past 10, so he might be
back to the beginning.
Now, Mike, just so that you know, there is a video that I sent you through.
Got you.
All right, just wanted to make sure you had that.
Yeah, you have the video I sent you too.
Yeah. There you go. Wait a minute.
Is it the jumping video?
No, there was a game we played.
The jumping video.
Why didn't it go through all of your pictures? That's really strange. It already started cycling back. Unless I just have repeats. Maybe that's what it is.
Hey, there's the best picture ever.
for some reason, just before the picture that Mike led with the Origins banner and all of us, just before that happened, Wes decided to try and climb up on that table and do that for everyone. I don't know why, but we all grabbed pictures of it.
I thought it would be really funny to, for one of us to be laying down on the table, because originally we were going to take that picture in front of that table, but no, we decided to do it in front of an Origins banner, which made a lot more sense. But this was also equally great.
Yeah, it won't be used in the future for anything. Don't worry.
No, no.
Maybe stickers.
Yeah,
Eric, say, man. Yeah, so again, this convention, we got to play Relative Space, and one of the coolest moments that came out of the convention for me, again, was Andrew was there when we were play testing that through last year for the 3.5 hours we did it. But Andrew hasn't seen it in a year, and it's gone through the iterations that we took last June to what it is now, and he got to play it. So it was cool to see someone who was there when we did it. And then be able to play it with the impact that he had on the decisions he was making to help us out through how do we balance this? How do we not fix it like it was broken, but how do we just make it better? And he was part of it. Yeah, he will be in the June. He'll be the June picture of the calendar that we make for QSCon next year. Yeah, another highlight for me is that banner. You can kind of see behind Grant. For those that don't know, Grant Lyon. He is a comedian. He does a bunch of videos to help promote industries. Luca, please, with the lightsaber. Don't do that. Thank you. He stopped by because he's a friend, and I wanted to show him. Here's a little kobold too. I didn't even realize that. I wanted to show off Canvas Critters, which is one of the next ones that we're doing. The banner's right behind him there. You see the little fox poking his eye out.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to show off the final components that we're using for the game, and to watch people get hyped about. There were people that were coming over asking about the banner, and then I was showing them the game, and they were really interested in the gameplay because it's light and approachable and has all the the trigger words that you want for a positive experience for non-gamers and gamers. So it was kind of a cool moment to see somebody. I saw it at Gen Con in 2018 when my Batman game came out, the one I did with Richard. And it's fun to see people react to a game that you've made, right? That you've co-designed. So it's one of those fun moments.
And cool. Grant was actually also in the end of the line playthrough that was less than an hour. It was a 30-minute one.
Yeah, I have documented
twice with us in that hour.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I have documented proof of that. We'll get to it.
I believe it. Yeah, I talked about it a little bit already. This was really fun.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
And that, for those of you who weren't there, that dinosaur or dragon actually makes noise, and its eyes glow, and its mouth moves. It was cool.
Yep. And there's Whitney signing the cheese bag. Nice. That happened first, but it was really neat. And Whitney came by a couple times, and her reaction to the game selling out and the buzz of the game that was going around, not only with the videos that happened during the week, but throughout the convention. We were there when somebody was talking about like playing in a library and then coming over and grabbing it. And it's been, I know it means a lot to a lot of people, especially the designer, when you have feedback coming from the game, not only being just fun to play, but you have other people talking about it and taking time to make a video about a game that you made, a thing that you did. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Those are my two. That's Brett and Laura from Local. Those are my two booth helpers for the weekend, which was great because my meetings were kind of front loaded in the beginning of the convention, but I had no problem. No, like they handled everything. There weren't any questions. They talking to people about the games and selling the games and ringing them up and thanking them for being there. And it's nice to know that you have people that you can count on to do the thing so you can focus on the thing you need to do. And the whole weekend they were great. I don't know if Brett's still watching. I mean, I thanked them already, but that started off the trip. So that's a little, so that's Daryl and Andrew. Of course dude, really? He just gives me this grin like he knows what he's doing too. Have you played Banana Blast?
I have not.
It was really fun. So I'm going to just do an aside real quick. There's this thing that has all bananas that go in those holes and then a monkey that sits in the center. And on your turn, you pull a banana out from the side, and it could be the banana that makes the monkey jump out of the thing and scare the hell out of everybody.
Nice.
Great drinking game. He really likes it. That was Wednesday night. So that was before going to get the pizza. But I have, if you look at what Daryl's holding, I have this little Luca doll that I bring everywhere and take pictures with, and I'm putting a deck together, like a card deck and stuff. But yeah, that started off the convention with hanging out with two great people. Yeah, sausage sizzle, banana blast, just fruit named things. Yeah, that was all of us playing it night one. The Canvas Critter game with making the mosaics and just hanging out, chilling with all those phenomenal flamingo straws that somebody brought.
I mean, you can't have a birthday party without party favors.
This is true.
It's fair.
This is true. It was really cool to see that. That was Friday morning. That's what we had left Friday morning. And
that's crazy.
It was a big stack, and the buzz that was happening, it sold out maybe an hour after that picture was taken. Yeah, the buzz on charcuterie was undeniable. So it was fun to be on that side of things, to have people talking about, oh, I saw it on a video. Oh, what video? Or, oh, I saw this in the Origins preview, or I saw it here. And like people are talking about it, and it never gets old. Whether it's your co-design, or you developed it, or it's part of your company's game, it never gets old to see people excited about something that you have on offer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Andrew. I got pictures of you later.
That sounded awful.
It really did, yeah.
Well, he's in some of my pictures, so there you go.
Oh, that's just funny.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
There's
where
the
it
full
started.
stack. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how many
That's a
more
good
you have.
picture. I like that one.
Oh, so I think the next picture too, maybe? No, there's another picture in there that I sent on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one and the one before Brett and West and everything. I put them in there to show it's not always positive when things like throughout the convention. There's always hurdles and hiccups and things that happen that are out of your control. And if you go back to the mission control one, two prior, maybe. Yeah. So we needed a demo copy for the table, right? So I cracked open a demo copy and start putting the bits out or whatever, and notice in the box were two Houston boards, and the the Cologne board wasn't in there.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's like, oh, come on. So like, it's how you pivot. And this is a minor example of how shit can go wrong. Like Sam had a much worse thing happen with the games not being there, but yeah, trash can. So it's not always great. Like not everything is like perfect from when you start to when you finish. There are times. This was more of a reminder of me to talk about. Yeah, great things are great. Everything's awesome, right? The Lego Movie. It's not. There are things that happen, whether it's opening up a box and having no components or the wrong components, or things not showing up, or you forget your Allen wrench and you can't put your thing together, or what you left your Square reader behind, or you don't have the plug for your phone. Like there can be so many things that happen that go out of that are out of your control. That you just gotta, I don't know, keep moving forward, keep your head up, and know that not everything's going to be perfect. And it was one of those moments that like, how great was this show? And everything's great, and this was positive, and that was positive, and there are always shitty things that happen. And social media does a great job of promoting all the positive things that happen around us, and you kind of get lost in everyone else's joy while you're sitting in stuff that doesn't necessarily happen that's positive for you. And it's not, you don't always see the negative stuff. And without going too negative, it always happens. I don't care who you are. There's always something that happens in this light that's like, come on. So this was just a reminder for me to talk about like how not everything is always so glamorous and glorious as we make it out to be all the time. There's always something that happens, and there's multiple things that happen a day that just push your buttons and test you. And it's the other stuff that happens before this as a reminder of why we do the things we do. Because although this sucks, is always, those things always remind you of the good that happens out of all this stuff that happens.
If a convention had done things correctly, Mike and I probably wouldn't be friends. Because we met because they didn't have the room open properly to get your shipping stuff. And had we not had that like 20 minutes of waiting, probably, I mean, maybe the universe would have made us friends, but that was what catapulted it. So
yep. Yeah, just happened to talk about something, and then we got on the topic of our fathers, and you had that moment. Same thing with Chris, right? The way that this show started, when QSCon Tuesday, it was QSCon Tuesday every Tuesday, and then the world shut down. And to keep things kind of, I don't know, some semblance of normalcy, I used this brand new technology that came out called Zoom. And I had, because I know people in the industry, so I asked people to come by and spend an hour or so to just talk about what was coming on Kickstarter, games that they have in their catalog. And every Tuesday, somebody would come on and we'd talk about something. And Chris was running a Kickstarter for the expansions for his game. And I loved his game before I even knew Chris. Like I backed it back in when it first came out, when it was under Kraken before Breaking Games. And I said, hey, I do this thing. You want to come on and promote your shit? And he's like, yeah, I'd love to. And we hit it off so well with the Star Wars talk and the geekiness and whatever. And the after conversation was like, thanks so much for doing what you were doing. I could do that all day. And it really was like, well, why don't we? And if not for that, sure, maybe the universe would have done something, but like I would have met him at a convention later on, but it might have happened later than it did. But yeah, it's funny how things kind of happen, right?
Yep, very much so.
Pebble in a pond.
That's right.
Ripples will happen.
We had that one.
Yeah, you had just gotten there. I think you were like a half hour young to the convention when we took that picture.
Yeah, my hair looks awful. Oh my gosh.
It's great. See, again, not everything is so glamorous as we make it out to be. Right?
So true.
Now, you know, when I used that picture in the collage, I chopped off that side of Wes's head. Yeah. I got your back there, Wes.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
I would have done the same thing too. Yeah, that was during setup there. Yeah, that's another I guess an inside story, but which if you're still watching, I definitely shared a picture, this picture that's over here with DeVito, and he laughed. He got a big kick out of it. But you're told a link is going to work, and you're like, oh, cool. Here, check this out and let me know what you think. And when you click the link, you get this thing, and you're like, what the, like, really? Another fun moment that will surely live on forever.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the picture I was looking for. So brand new banner. Brand new, just got it in. So to this convention. So I get to the convention and I'm setting up the banners and Dave was there to help and Dave just holds buddy man. Dave just holds up that thing and I'm like, what, did you step on it? He's like, no, it came out that way. So then it was like, all right, well, what can we find to try and fix it? And you got to adjust. And we made it work. All we did was like that little hole there is where that little peg goes through. All we did was it fit enough to not have to go to that peg. So we evened it out and it worked. But trying to pivot and adjust. And it's one of those things that you in this industry you have to do because not everything goes perfect, right? Sam with the shipping, you plan on something and all of a sudden one little pebble in the pond is going to create ripples that you don't see until all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're not going to have the thing there for you in time. Like you got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to adjust as things come at you because it's not all as perfect as sometimes it looks.
Yeah. Our big demo board that we normally use to like attract attention with our huge models and massive acrylic figures and stuff, that the board broke on the way in to the show. And we had one of those tubes also get completely crushed. So there was no way to fix it. Like ours was, it was impossible to fix. So, but we still had a great show. It still worked out really well. Like you said, you gotta roll with the punches and figure something else out. And you can't let stuff like that get you down,
right?
Because we're still gonna have a great time. People are here to have fun, so it's okay. It'll work out.
It's not the bad things that happen; it's how you react to them.
Very much so.
Well, also, I mean, to remember, like, why we do the things we do, right? Like, we're very fortunate to be able to do this, right? To create fun, to live in a fun environment, and to create fun for people. And I've talked to, I think I might have mentioned this to like Andrew and Josh on the show, or when I was on the Tabletop Submarine. Go listen to their podcast. Andrew, who was on before.
Andrew's great.
You don't always see, you do a thing, right? Like developing charcuterie. Now this thing is out there and it's on people's tables and people are buying it. And I'm fortunate to be at a convention where people can come up and say, hey, thank you for the thing. I played this with whatever, and I did this thing and it brought my friends in. You have those moments where it's like really cool and it's in your face and you get to see the impact of what we do. But that's very few compared to the things that are happening out there. And it's very easy to stick on the negative. But what we do impacts so many people and we don't see it. It's not in our face. It's not sent to us in a text message, or it's not sent to us in a picture of the enjoyment that they're having at the table, of the stuff they do, or the reason that they watched a rundown video of a game that they ended up playing with their family. They're not going to reach out to Mike and Tim and say, hey, thank you for the video. It helped me get it to the table with my significant other, or I got to play that game with my family because I didn't have to teach them or read a rule book. You're never going to see that shit. It's not evident, right? We have the opportunity at conventions to maybe meet someone who will have the opportunity to, oh, you're that person. I recognize you. Let me say thanks, right? It's very easy to forget when you have things happen and we're focused on the next thing and the next thing happens and we're focused on the next thing. It's easy to forget that we have a lasting impact in this industry. And when you focus on the negative, it's because the negative is it hurts more, right? Because you want things to be perfect, but the negative happens and you kind of dwell on it because we're humans and that's what we do. And it's easy to forget that there are 99 out of 100 times there are those 99 things we don't see. It's somebody's playing a game that we did, or a video we made, or something, watching an older video of ours and laughing, right? Because of something we did. And we don't see that. And it's easy to forget that shit exists when we have things like that bent pole or the double Houston board happen, because we're going to focus on fuck, that happened. But you're not going to see all the positive stuff that we create. And I don't want to say for everybody, it never goes above me to know that I am in a very awesome position to be able to do this thing for people. And I'm reminded when someone's like, I want you to sign my cheese bag. It's like, that's the weirdest thing, but it was so cool to have that moment. And have people just stop by to say hi. Like you go to these things and you get to see that. And you don't get to see it when I'm sitting at the kitchen table trying to dev through a game that I'll never see somebody play and enjoy the way that like my play testers have enjoyed it, or I've enjoyed working on it. You just see someone that you're not involved with, not in your playtest group, not at my QsCon Tuesday, not at Origins After Hours. Someone else out there is playing a game that or doing a thing that we had a fingerprint on and has made a positive impact. And it's very easy to forget that that exists.
Yep, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was
Stacks
that
dwindling.
It couldn't have been maybe 10 minutes after that the sold out picture was taken.
Yeah.
That's the best picture. Is it looks like I've tagged myself with my Origins ID badge there.
That was way better. Yep.
It's all about having fun.
It is. It
It
is.
It is.
We got other angles.
If only that were immortalized in a watercolor on a canvas. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
wow. It seems like a
one of
sticker
your
to
little
come.
French girls.
This is going to be a sticker.
Hey, buddy. There it is.
Yes. Okay, so for the context that's here, the people running around have a board that has dice on it, and the two of us are looking and trying to see what their dice are, because if their dice are actually jails, then we get to put them in jail. So we're literally running around going, jail, 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 whenever we see it happening. Oh, it was so much fun. I've never sweat that much and had a good time.
This was great. You never sweat that much and had a good time?
No.
You're doing it wrong.
It's an icebox in the house. What do you want?
Just saying. This is one of those moments that I talked about earlier, that you get a sell sheet and you're looking at the game on a piece of paper and you're like, okay, like cool. You can see it. You can see that there's something there, but you can't see this because there's no way you could have seen this from the sell sheet. But then you talk to the designer and you talk about the concept of the game, like in real time. And like, oh, I can see something there. So I'd asked to play it. Like I wanted to play it with this group because this group is phenomenal. Like I can't talk about them enough. Like having the ability to play in this world for a weekend is it's awesome. And I'm like, all right, I need to see this. Like I want to see this because I knew in my head that it would go well, but I wanted to see it go well. And it went better than I thought. Watching them do what they were doing, people that not necessarily, like I am not a charades person. I don't like that stuff, and there were others in the same kind of boat, but watching that work the way it did with that group, and then being in that hall and it's a major hallway. Like you're going from the exhibit hall to like the hotels and watching people like chant and laugh and cheer or whatever. And this is happening. It was another one of those moments that just will live forever in my brain because it was so good.
And for the record, I'm 6'1", and the Great Wall of Eric is there, and like I can barely see around him. At one point, he held it up in the air like this and was rolling like up here.
I was gonna say he should have just held it at eye level. He would have been safe the whole game.
But the problem is when you're that big, that tall, it's hard to be dexterous. So you know,
running away, rolling dice.
Yeah, this was super fun. It's just another. It doesn't necessarily matter what we're playing. It's the moment and the experience with friends, and this is one of those moments that like. This is why it reminds me of why I do the thing I do. Like be able to hang out with these people, to have these moments, regardless of what the hell you're playing, that create this fun for everybody. It's amazing. I know.
Yeah, this
I
game
need
was
to
a
try
lot of fun.
this.
I hope it gets a trash can as well.
I mean, right behind my computer screen right now is the prototype for that game. So
good. So you're saying QsCon then?
Unless something happens and I have to mail it back, then yeah.
Cool. It was fun.
Or like some weekend in the near future that you come and visit.
There's that too. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's all of Mike's stuff.
That was only, what, 2.5 hours of talking? Sorry.
And then we have all of Wes photos.
This is going to be a very
All-
short list.
All of Wes photos. Starts with the video,
So,
though. Whoops.
Unlike Mike, I
Whoa.
don't take tons of pictures because I like to live in the moment, and then I forget to take pictures. So I usually end up getting other
Yeah.
people's pictures that happen to have me in them.
I force myself to take pictures at these things.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, by the way, that reminds me, I'm gonna have a TikTok within a day or two about that fanny pack.
Yeah.
I'll
it's
get
just
to that.
this little guy over here. So if you don't know Matthew Ryan, or you've seen him on any sort of social media, or know, or have heard of Envyborn, go look at the videos that Matthew creates. They are hilarious.
They are.
He's an awesome person, and I knew I wanted him to sign my fanny pack. It was the thing, I wanted this from the con, and I texted him it like, I want a fanny pack. But to have the opportunity, like, fuck it, we're doing a video. It was really, yeah,
It was great. I can't wait till he gets true pink ones so I can have one.
Good job.
Okay, so every convention, if there is a game that has a flamingo in it, I'm in. All day long, I'm gonna buy it. I don't care what it is. It could be $100 game. I don't give a shit if it's got one flamingo in it. It's mine. And this booth had flamingos in it, and like a moth to a flame, I was drawn instantly in. And they have this game, ironically, about RV glamping, and it has a flamingo in it. So it has one card that is a flamingo card, but they're overselling the flamingos because you can see there's quite a few in there. But yeah, it's fantastic. It is not John Popper, but maybe he could sing a line or two. Sometimes the hook does bring you back though, and that's what flamingos are for me.
Oh my
and they had
God.
one amazing bag full of greatness that had like 4 games in it for $20, and I was like, yeah, obviously, I'm totally buying that. So yeah, that's that was the flamingo connection.
I appreciate you getting, West. I appreciate you getting straight to the point, not giving us the runaround.
Oh well, I do what I can.
Wow.
I'm in for the music puns. Let's go.
Fun fact: DPH Games is local to Syracuse.
Even better.
Yep, Dan. It's his initials, but Dan is he's been a supporter of QSCon since year one. He's either had a booth or has been involved in some way with demoing his games or selling his games. But he attends all the time. If you were at the con, you probably saw 2 humans that had this construction yellow shirt on and this tropical whatever they call hats, like not a bowler hat, but it's the
like
one that
hard
has
hats
all the way around. What?
Like a hard hat?
No, soft, like you
Oh.
wear it on the beach kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That one of those, the taller of the 2 gentlemen, would be Dan. So
Love it.
Just in on a camping theme.
Bucket hat. Yes, thank you.
He's got like 2 of them. I need one.
Mm-hmm.
There's West Hall.
So this is my haul, and you'll notice that there's a shirt on, which I'm wearing right now. So this shirt was given to me by a wonderful friend and former, well, still fan of mine, along with a great deal of those flamingo gifts. The ice flamingos in the back there, those are thanks to Mike. They're amazing. I've already actually used them twice. So they're amazing. On the left-hand side, you'll notice that there's some coffee from Too Many Bones. And there's also 3 cans of New Glarus Spotted Cow, which is one of my buddies, Brandon, gets it shipped in every year. And he was kind enough to give me a few cans of it. All of these games, I've played half of them already. Because my son was like, Dad, I can't wait for you to get home so we could just play games. So I've played half of these games already with him, which is super fun.
That's great.
Yep.
That's the best part.
I had a really good time. There's a pink game up on top there. I thought I brought it downstairs with me, but that one right there, yes. It was from this Chinese company. I don't know, but it has There are these square cards, and there's mug shots of animal criminals, and they all have a name. They've got, it's either like an owl. There's only like 5 different ones: an owl, an elephant, a bear, and something else. And then they all have backgrounds, and then they have different colors of the backgrounds, and they have a different name. And the whole point of the game is you flip over a card, and it's like a memory game, but you just have to say what it matches, which one of those like 5 categories match. And you'd think, oh, it's not that hard. This is like a kid's game. No, it's fucking hard. It's really hard. It is ridiculously challenging, and it is really fun. And the pictures are really cool. It's it's really interesting. My son and I played it multiple times. It was really fun.
Wes, have you played Kites yet? Speaking of a
Yes.
game that's very hard.
Yes. So I did the easy mode first, where you take out purple and orange, and that was definitely easy enough. We made it through it, smooth sailing, so to speak. Then we put the orange and purple back in, and we crashed and burned massively. Like it wasn't even close. We didn't even get halfway through. It just, man, there's a lot to think about. So I enjoyed it though. I thought it was interesting. It is really hard
fun.
though.
It is hard. There was a joke for a while. It was the first new to me game I played this year. It was the first review we put out this year. So there was a joke for a while about how it was my favorite game this year. It was the game of the year. So
yeah,
but when it's the first game you play in January, that happens.
I mean, it's fair.
I like that you picked up Valka there. I'll have some pictures of that.
Yep, I had to get my copy.
Good.
And
you went and saw
I got
John?
my copy of Galapagos that I'll never play because no one will ever want to play with me ever again.
Oh, dude! I just name a time. I had a blast with that game. So fun.
And so the end of the line is a reviewer copy. So that's the actual size. I mean, like this box is, the original box is 4 times this size, and it all fits inside of this little box. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
And that chicken hot dog game where you're throwing the chicken and trying to get it to hit the deck, dude, my son and I played that 5 or 6 times in a row. We had so much fun playing that game. Chicken in there as well, also really, really fun, and we should definitely play it on the show.
Is that a dice one?
Yeah, the dice one where you've got the dice in the coop and stuff.
I have that
really,
too.
really good.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And then then there's that burger game.
Yeah, Burgermeister.
The thing that's next to the burger game is way better than anything on that table.
Yeah, I did put those in because I felt it was important for that connection, Oh, and this game, oh, here it is. Here was that Chinese game I was telling you about. It's right here, and it actually comes so that it comes out like this, and you can just pull cards directly. It's really, the box is even really cool. Like they did really neat stuff with it. But this Mayday game came, which is Walk the Plank. So a little girl walked up to Marcus in the gaming play area, and she said, "Hi, here you go," and then handed him this game. And he was like, "Oh, thanks." And she goes, "You're welcome," and then turns around and like starts walking away. And he's like, "Oh, wait, you giving this to me?" And she goes, yes, and then just starts walking away. And he's like, it was like a ghost child came and gave me this game. And I didn't know what was going on, and I keep expecting her to come back and take it from me. So he gave it to me so I would be haunted now. But this is actually really fun too. Walk the Plank was really entertaining.
Yeah, Walk the Plank is good.
Yeah. And so that's my haul.
Burgermeister and the moldy meat.
Do you see what you've all said about Burgermeister?
Yeah.
Dang it. I didn't get any pictures with Yuval. I played games with him, but I didn't get any pictures with him. And then a second picture of his haul, because he had to pad his stats and give a different face and all that.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure which face you wanted, so I never take haul pictures. It took me like 20 minutes to set this up.
It's fun though. It's fun, and people like seeing these. It's fun going through them. It really is. I like these.
I suppose. This was another picture that I didn't take, but someone took of me. So,
Devin from Board Game Hype.
yep.
Nice dude. Very nice dude.
Fun guy. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Great taste in shirt.
You sent Mike 5 pictures. 2 of them were duplicates. 1 was somebody else's.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much. Like I said, I don't take pictures. People take pictures with me, and then I just take their pictures.
Wow.
And it hasn't been long enough yet, because like I know Kat took a picture with me, Kat Dreyer, and she's still on her Saturday dump. She hasn't put on the Sunday picture dump yet. So otherwise I would have had one more picture for sure. And there were a couple other pictures that I know are coming out eventually, but I don't do pictures. I don't do selfies very often.
No,
I need to get better at it.
You let people take pictures of you because you're that important. You don't take pictures of others. People take pictures of you.
Yeah, I mean, people take pictures with me. It's just the way it works.
I get it.
I mean, when you have this much handsome in one spot, it's hard to.
It's hard.
Really, yeah. I don't want to overdo.
I get it.
Really
I was joking about how I still didn't have a picture with West, but someone else took one with my phone. So there is one in existence now. It'll pop up later.
Oh, excellent. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, there's my my origin experience. What it doesn't show is my 37-minute drive back and forth each morning and evening to the Airbnb where we were staying.
Wow, you guys stayed much further out than we did.
That's longer than your origin segment tonight, that drive.
Yeah, yeah. It's true. I was trying to keep it short, short and sweet.
I have a lot of pictures, but I don't want to make this a 4-hour episode.
Yeah, thanks, Grandpa.
But because I have to work in the morning, I still got to get up at 6:30.
True. That's fair enough.
But you know what? I also get to look at this from a very different perspective than you guys. I didn't work a booth, so so Bob and I got in Wednesday night, and we started with a good old game of Dabawala, and I really enjoy this one. It's a very unique take on polyominoes because you can actually stack them, which I haven't seen in other games, and everybody simultaneously plays a card that affects what each color scores. So there's a little bit of blind bidding involved, and I really enjoy this one. So we played that Wednesday night.
I wanted to like this one as well, but when they started talking about polyominoes, my eyes just glazed over and I walked away.
I love polyominoes. I grew up playing Tetris, so there's just an infinite amount of replayability in polyominoes. Just my brain loves that puzzle. So this is us driving. We had a drive too. We were intelligent. We only stayed 15 minutes away, saving at least $100 a night doing so. And the hotel had not shitty continental breakfast. I'm talking a real breakfast buffet. So me and Bob went down there every morning and feasted, saving our $100 a day, driving into the convention center only 15 minutes away. It was very nice. So every morning I would take a picture like this with Bob in the car and post a meme of Tim not being there. Those are all in the back though. So my first visit was the Third World Studios booth.
Yeah, and your first meeting should have been the Third World Studios booth too, but somebody forgot about that 10 o'clock thing that he was so excited about. Guess who's first? Don't forget who's first.
Wait, he didn't show up for his meeting? Wow.
I showed up at 9 o'clock.
Later, right?
He did what you did today. You showed up like ready to go at 10 to 8, thinking the show was at 8. He showed up at 9:30 and all ha he, and here we are. And then 10 o'clock's like, no, Mike's not around. I don't know where Mike is.
I literally scheduled a Calendly appointment with Mike just to show up and say hi and take pictures of his booth.
Which you didn't do. You took no pictures. We didn't do any sound bites. We didn't do anything.
Hold on. There's a picture right here.
Yeah, you could have taken that Friday or Saturday.
Hold on. Sunday. There's another picture right there.
Sure.
Okay, there'll be more. We'll come back to them. I was told
I
it
see
didn't
it.
do anything. But hold on, there was another one, but Mike was too busy for it. There's another one. See, I tend to when I take pictures, I'm gonna snap a whole bunch at once, so you'll see
And
repeats.
we're literally going to see every single picture you took. Is that what this is going to end up being?
Well, isn't that what?
Grandpa? Seriously, we don't need to see
I
every
was
single
well.
picture.
Hold on,
of
I
the...
was told I didn't take any pictures of the Third World Studios booth. So,
okay.
So there they are. There's more. I'll come back to them. I came back to that booth many times.
Sure?
This is Jim Cole.
You were just right across the hall at Sam's booth, so it was easy for you.
Once a day, yes, that's accurate. This is Jim Cole. He's an artist and a designer. He designs Zombie Survival Infection. This is a very fun, mean take that game of trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. People are going to turn into zombies. That's just what happens. And when that happens, you're going to start chewing on other humans. And when people's camps deplete, the zombies are going to start slowly taking over. So, you either try to survive or you turn into a zombie and chew on survivors. Take your pick. Very fun, very mean. And the guy's a fantastic artist. He designed this mimic bot.
That's cool.
And people would chuck like a big foam D20 into this, and depending what rolled, you'd get a discount on your dice. One of the 50 dice vendors there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DiceCon. There you go. One of my other first stops was swinging by here and getting my fanny pack. I'm holding mine and Tim's there, as you can see, because Tim couldn't make it, so I had to pick up his fanny pack.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it really is.
You pick green and blue. Those are your two colors.
Yeah, I'm getting blue. Tim will get green.
Nice.
And I'm going to make a TikTok about my fanny pack. I'm too fat for it, but you'll just wait. It'll be out in a couple days. I'm too fat for the fanny pack. I need a second one so I can connect them together. And Bob got one too. He got his customary yellow.
Oh shit! So between the four of us, we got all four colors.
We did. We got our bases covered. Ammon was there. It was cool to talk to him. Those guys are a riot. They were goofing off in the booth. Good stuff.
Wes, you're gonna see every picture, Wes.
We really are seeing literally every single picture.
I showed every one of your guys' pictures.
You did. We only sent you like a quarter.
We sent you the highlights, Mike. Highlights.
Yeah, but I'm not going to spend an hour talking about them. I told you I'd whip through them.
10 minutes already, and you're not even past the first hour and a half of the show.
Oh no, time me then. It hasn't been that long. I haven't gotten to talking like a half hour. This is Parakeet Griffin. They're making fairy tale campaign trail. It is noon, and I'm on 3 straight days of 4 hours of sleep. This is a hilarious.
But it's midnight.
It's definitely midnight.
This is a hilarious party game. You should check it out.
Yes,
we have covered it for a year now. It is ridiculous, and the people that make this are just wonderful people.
I completely agree. Agreed. These people are fabulous, and this game is ridiculously fun. If you have to sit there and argue why Medusa makes the best eye doctor when she stares in people's eyes and they turn to stone, and your situation issue is that, well, it was your fault that you were the one that told her she should be an eye doctor. Oh my God, it's good. This is great. I highly recommend this game.
It's hilarious. The fanny packs, of course. Reed, he's working on another prototype. This is Room Beasts. This is one of the more fun games I played at Origins. This is a very satisfying deck builder, and yes, it is literally like a Pokemon deck builder. I had a blast playing this game. You can escalate your deck so fast. Where your deck ends up and what is Wes texting Mike? There you go. Some of my Third World Studios swag on my tags there. This is us playing End of the Line.
I do like the side story that's happening. Here's a picture of the airport, and here's my lunch on a Wednesday, and I filmed my border biologist.
Somebody's got to take pictures and talk about them. Goodness gracious.
Great picture of it in the line because it shows you how like condensed the components and stuff are now. And that's a really great picture.
Yeah, look at that. Hardly anything there. Played it in 30 minutes. Played it twice. And I actually have a picture with West. How about that?
It's true.
Oh, yeah, there's some of those, Eric. For sure.
Can't wait to see these.
So that was day one, and here's me and Bob driving back into the convention center. Played more Dabbawala. That's Andrew. He was in the chat earlier. He's like viewer 1A. Every time we have a live stream, he's in. And he's just an awesome, genuine person, loves to play games, watches all our live streams, and he lives in Ohio. So the guy's always at Origins. So Dabbawala, tons of fun. Went out to Barley's, got my little Ranger glass. That's the only one I got. I didn't get all of them. Didn't have time to get all of them. I mean, well, hold on. We listened to Mike ramble for an hour. I'm 11 minutes into this, and I'm getting shit.
I was not ramble. It was heartfelt and honest and genuine. It wasn't, I tripped on this stone.
Also, take note, that beer is dark, meaning it's appropriately colored.
You like your stout?
More dark beer. Yeah, more dark beer. There's my glass. Dark beer next to it. That's a barrel-aged stout. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I really needed to go. Oh my God, you have a picture of the menu?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, I have a picture of the menu. Because when you log your plays and your beers, you got to take pictures of the menus. That was my flight. There were 6 beers in total.
That actually does look really good, to be fair.
To be fair. Mike did start his segment with, I look at it from a totally different perspective as you guys. So we're at a game convention and we're talking about the people we meet and the games we're doing and whatever. And he's looking at it from a totally different perspective and looking at the food and the drinks and the weather and the clouds. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
I do wish I'd gotten one of those barley glasses though. I agree.
There you go. Jim, Andrew, Aaron from Parakeet Griffin, enjoying some beers.
Nice.
We did play a game of Joking Hazard. It was kind of funny. Bob and I driving in the next day. All right, so that's actually Patrick. That is Tim's brother-in-law. Actually, we've talked about many times. These are some of his buddies. We played Banish the Snakes from GMT. I did not expect to actually enjoy a GMT game. I didn't mean that. It looks like an old war game, and it's totally not. It's actually about converting pagans into Christianity in Ireland, and I enjoyed it. It was fun.
I like how Tim had family there, but Tim wasn't there.
I know, right? Yeah. His sister. There will be pictures of his sister too. And Patrick, yes, actually busted out a Guinness to drink while we played this game.
Nice.
That
makes sense.
It did. I had to get a photo. Because somebody had to carry the photo.
Do you have a different angle of the Banish the Snakes game?
Oh yeah, I was hoping so. Somebody had to take pictures for this segment. So this is me playing the Xylotar, and that's Stephen Fortenberry, who was in the chat earlier, and I am playing the Xylotar. I did not think I got a picture of Andrew, except that he is the parrot on my shoulder right there. That's the only picture I have with Andrew Styles.
That's funny.
Yes, that is pretty muddle. You're right. That'll come up later. Xylotar, I haven't played it yet. This is
it's
from the
really
moon,
good.
From Hachette, and the look of this game, I just adore. I didn't pick it up, but the table presence was bonkers, and somebody made this like cock drawing in front of their booth, which just looked amazing to me.
It was
Did you say cock drawing?
Chalk.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is chalk.
One gets down like cock drawing. 2, that was the artist. They had the artist come in and do that. I think he did 2. Wicked. Or doing a different one at Gen Con, maybe. It was really neat.
Yeah, they didn't have any copies of this yet, but very soon. So we played Edo. This was one of my highlights of games I played. This game's hilarious. This is like the Mind Meets Wavelength. I got a story about this game, but I don't want to take too long talking about my experience at Origins.
that's
I don't
what
want
this
to
is
take.
about. It's about.
I mean,
about it.
you're
Okay.
welcome to talk about your experiences at Origins. What we don't necessarily need to hear is, every single experience. Like
Somebody had
you
to
can
carry
leave out
this
some of them.
segment. All right. So Ito is essentially you
Wait,
have to get
go
these.
back. Go back. Start over at the whole beginning of Ito. Yeah, keep going. Keep going back. Keep going back. Yep. Okay. You had 4 pictures of you sitting at the table, Grandpa, and it's the same picture. You put all of them in.
Yeah, I literally just snap, and all of them get uploaded to my Google Photos.
So you did
So
absolutely no editing of which pictures we're gonna see. We're just literally gonna see everything.
I can just fly through all of them just like that. Like I don't have to talk about. Oh, in this one, I smiled more than the other one. In this one, my mouth was open more. That's not happening here.
Yeah, West
Goodness
didn't do
gracious.
enough. West didn't
This
show
guy
enough. Or
took
enough. You're
4
showing all of
pictures,
it.
and half of them were sent to him. And here I am actually providing some content, getting shit about it. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, Eric, let me tell you about the consistency of my shits.
Are we even on day 2? I don't even know if we're on day 2 yet.
I don't care. Ito, so you're going to get a category. Let's just say things that make you happy. You're going to get a card from 1 to 100. You're going to play them in secret and describe where you fit on that scale. So things that make you happy. Maybe 55 is like a neutral thing, like drinking an ice cold Coke on my back porch. That's pleasant. But what would quantify as a 99? What really makes you happy? So you have to try to play these cards and describe them in order, and then you're going to flip them at the end and find out if you're able to play them in ascending order. I actually had a blast with this game. It was hilarious.
It does sound really good.
It's fun. But they sold out. Can't get it. All right.
Robert is very good at creating marketing campaigns around games he's releasing and why you want them and why you don't want to not miss them or why you don't want to miss them.
Notice how I skipped past those other pics of me driving. All right, so Rebel Princess, this is coming out from Bezier. This sounds great. This is going to be like Hearts with special powers. Sounds awesome. Also coming out from Bezier.
Special powers?
Hearts with special powers.
Hearts. Yeah, I've played Sears catalog. It's really good.
I just love that they're playing on not only the Sears, JCPenney Robot catalog with the Art Deco art, but also the Seer from Werewolf. Love it. Love it.
It's really good too. It's a lot of fun.
I can't wait for those. Should be able to get some review copies here in a few weeks.
Nice.
So I finally met John DeCampos, and that was cool because about a year and a half ago, one of the first indie designers I reached out to because I wanted to cover his game was him. He sent us a copy of Black Mold, and then this West guy below me here, the first time he ever popped in our studio was to play Black Mold, and then he reviewed it with us. And I'm a metalhead, and I could tell immediately John does all of this art. I could tell he was a metalhead, and sure enough, he plays guitar in a metal band. And I love this style. That's why I bought the shirt. I love this style of art, and I love the look of all of their games. So I wanted to come visit him and talk to the dude, and he was great. Yeah, so Black Mold was, like I said, one of the first kind of indie designs I got to cover. Of course, Wes went over there and picked up Valka from him. Token Terrors was kind of their first game, and again, just his style of art is just so wicked to me. I freaking love it. That's, again, all his original art. This is like a 1v1, like no luck, like skirmish war game that takes like 30 to 40 minutes to play. So just he's got another one coming in a few months that will be going to Kickstarter as well. That'll have a lot more characters and stuff. And just look how cool these tiny little miniatures are.
Yeah, they are really cool.
Stopping back by Parakeet Griffin. Yep. Yeah, so the Stocktons, wonderful people. And when they hit up me and Bob and say, hey, we had a person that was supposed to cover our booth and they couldn't make it, could you at least cover us so that we could go get lunch? You don't say no. Not when you got the time. So me and Bob covered their lunch shift each day so that these guys could go eat. And just being able to sit down and teach Forges of Ravenshire to people, which is a game I already love and know very well, and see the excitement for it, man, I was in a groove. I stayed way longer than I actually had to. Like they said, you only need to cover us for an hour. I think that first day I was there for like 2 hours. I demoed that game like 4 or 5 times that first day. And just seeing people excited, that booth was banging the whole time. I felt terrible that they didn't have copies to sell, but man, the excitement for this game is there. I can't wait for people to see it at Gen Con.
Yep, it's good times.
This is my cozy game. It's very satisfying to play and everything feels good. Jim again. So he is the first person that we asked to put us into their game, and he did. You may recognize this hat here is the guy that couldn't make it to Origins. This long-haired zombie over here is Bob, and the tall guy in the back that is not a halfling like the other two, that's me. So nice. Jim actually drew us into his game.
That's awesome.
That was cool as shit. So one of the cooler things that's happened to me since I've been doing content. I saw this on your shelf, Wes. Catharsis.
Oh man, I love Catharsis. It's right there. It's so good.
The look of this game is bonkers. Yeah, I was just kind of taking pictures because Tim wanted me to check it out. It does look pretty cool, and it looks like a very accessible kind of dungeon crawl system here.
Yeah, so the ironic thing is this big box game is all sold out now. They're not making another version of it. They're making a different version with a new Kickstarter, so you can get all the different pieces, but in a different way, with some new updated art that makes some of it a little bit more intuitive. But man, this is a great game. It's so much fun. You've got, I think in that box, there's 12 different characters that you can play, and there's 12 different bosses that you can be. And it's really good. Each one is just its own little mini campaign. The main character board you have is also metal, so that way when you're moving your pieces back and forth, it stays where it's supposed to. And it's the first game I know of that used magnets that way. Gnome Hollow does it also, which is really cool. But yeah, it's a dice chucker that you're using the dice to do actions. And then once you do, there's like a really special action. If you do the really special action, you lose the card forever. But you have to get through the entire campaign, which is usually about 13 to 20 cards. And if you end up using all your special actions early, then you have no more cards to use. So that sucks. Mm-hmm. But it's really good. It's a great game. Highly recommended. He's got a new, Divine Secrets, I think is what it's called now, is the new one that just came out. So it's delivering in like the next couple of weeks. Art and Dave. This is Dave, Mike, by the way. This is the Dave guy I put you in touch with. This is the game that he works on.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah. That's good to know. Cool.
Yep.
So this was our first attempt at what we thought we were going to use to Photoshop Tim into. And also another picture I did not take at Third World Studios booth.
Right, clearly.
That one either. Yeah. That one either.
Was this 10 o'clock on Thursday during your meeting?
Oh, it might have been. No.
Yeah.
Jeff's working on Verhode, which is a very unique take on the cooperative adventure system. Played this one a little bit. The art in this game is pretty wild. Took some pictures with the guys at the BA Games booth before we left. Of course, Sam was busy, so I did not get a picture with Sam. I was disappointed about that. He's probably getting pushed on a swing.
Probably. Was this on Sunday?
Well done.
Yes.
He was doing a play test with his new game that's all about cooking monsters.
Ooh.
So you're like trying to attract monsters into this this dungeon, and then you catch them and you eat them.
Nice.
It's really it looks awesome.
You know what I actually found out? One of the times I went over to their booth to cover for their lunch, Cam and Eric were there, and Eric and them were pitching a game to Sam. And I'm like, I'm glad that my appearance here is making this happen. So that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately ended up in someone else's hands.
All right. More people that I already talked about. Multiple pictures. I better skip past them all. Oh, we already talked about those people. I better skip past all those.
I see, just a hint of editing, Mike. Just a hint. You're just like, hey, this is a really great picture, and then I could talk about this one thing instead of going like, oh, here's 9 pictures of the same thing.
Well, what's nice is I was able to go through 3 of them in half a second and get back to the pictures I didn't take at the Third World Studios booth. This is actually the picture that I edited Tim into for the collage.
Excellent.
Not that one though.
Not that one. It was the one before. It was
the first one. Yeah, it was the better one.
Clearly. I didn't actually get to play Trash Dash, but I love this idea of that you're just these animals racing around this board, and meanwhile it's like this Mario Kart style game where you're just kind of like pushing people and knocking them back, and all that kind of wild chaos is happening. And I just really like this art. And the main character is Winston. That's Bob's dog's name.
The dog's name in Relative Space is also Winston.
I was just going to get the. Yeah, I was just getting the box.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Nice. If anybody wants to put
a card for that reason.
Nice. If anybody wants to put a dog named Sushi in their game, let me know. Trash Dash, and then we're drained. We're driving back. That's our
There's
last.
Winston. Even looks like Winston.
A little bit. He's white.
That is one of the things that popped me on this game when they brought it to the booth, and I saw that, and then in addition to that, I saw that.
Yeah,
it's great.
Okay, that was afterwards. Little guy named Donnie, who might be in the chat here, asked me to show him my Tiny Epic fanny pack with the Mercury key tag hanging off of it, which I did not get from the Third World Studios booth, where I did not take pictures.
Right, clearly, yeah. You bought that on eBay to show at the con.
Yes. Yeah. That was my haul. It's very meager, and that's fine. I don't. The switch changed when I started doing content. I go around and talk to people, and acquiring games is kind of secondary to that. And so a lot of these are actually review games. I think I got more review games than what I bought. But that's still not that many.
Santa's Workshop is great. I love that game.
That was the one game I had to buy at Origins, and anything else that fell into place would be great. One of those, by the way, West, was Kabanga, which I've played many times since, and it is hilarious. It is a riot.
I got these less racist version. Good.
I got these very weird looking stickers over here.
Yeah, that's true.
Also went back with a copy of End of the Line. I collected a lot of pins this year. That's going to be a thing. I got one of Grant's pins after we played End of the Line with him, which was cool. I get this charcuterie game over here, which I definitely did not get from the Third World Studios booth, where I did not take pictures. And I also have not been hyping that game up.
No, not at all.
Or the cheese bag.
Where's your cheese bag?
Oh,
it wasn't a haul. You got it on your Kickstarter copy.
Yeah, I cheated. Jim, that made the zombie game. This is just an idea of his art. This is going to get fuzzy when I zoom in that far, but I just love that style. So again, just the terrible games and the zombies. I love dark art. I really like that style. Yeah, Kabanga is hilarious. Wait until you play it with a bunch of people, Nicole. It is so funny. The tension just ramps up when you're sitting there with one card that's a 2, and you have to play it on a 15 or a 16, and then somebody goes out by dropping their whole hand on you. It's just hilarious. It is so funny. But yes, I'm a huge fan of Jim's. This style of art is just wicked to me. Jim also brought a little care package of beers from Texas, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. There's that fanny pack that I'm too fat for.
Are those coasters above the green one? What are the? What are the
Yeah. So those are werewolf coasters. When we first started the stream, you may have noticed I had to run over there like several times. That's because my dog hasn't seen me in 4 days, and she likes to chew things when I am busy. So she chewed on, for example, all of like my dice tower coasters. You see how mangled those are now? Well, I replaced them with werewolf coasters. So there you go. So yeah, I just kind of like picking up the pins and the swag and getting promos, and I got a bunch of fun stuff from 25th Century that I'm excited to cover. Bob bought a Gueda and has already played it, so we're gonna get a review out of that really soon.
Nice.
And just close-ups of kind of all the pins that I've been collecting. I think this collection actually started with this one when I bought Resurgence from 25th Century Studios last year and ended up getting a raw pin with it, and that just kind of started it. That's where the pin collection began. More of that Terrible Games art, which I just freaking love. Just their logo and this huge thing dropping this D4. I freaking love it. Me playing games, that's Reed's Rune Beast, which again, as far as prototypes I played, this one really shined for me. Very satisfying deck building game. And this was actually Reed's prototype, and me and his buddy John are pretending that we're hating it. So all right, let's get into the memes, and then I'll call it a night. And that wasn't too bad. All right. So this was actually one of their fan made memes. So one of our friends on our Facebook group decided to drop this one because I dropped a meme of Tim not making it to Origins every single day, and other people started participating. So this is Tim watching Mike and Bob pull into the driveway from Origins, but this is where it started, right here. This is the one I dropped the first day. And this is what Tim was doing while we were in Origins. He was doing this, just wishing he could be there.
Yeah.
And
the fact that he looks like a toddler also is really funny.
Yeah.
But he was there in spirit, so I made a meme for him every single day, like this one. Could have invited him, but it was far more fun to not invite him and spam our group with memes. I apparently did take Origins photos. Somebody had to in this group.
Yeah, no, somebody should have.
Another one here. I mean, literally, I had one for every day he wasn't there, and multiple for the last day he couldn't make it. Okay, so before we do that one, these are the ones. These are the unreleased memes. These are a little bit more R-rated.
Mike, we're gonna get canceled.
Andrew from our channel, Sleeveless Andrew, actually made this one. I am not responsible for this one.
Oh my god.
I am not responsible for this one. I did not make it. If I did, I would have chopped my beard out better, but I did not make this one.
Well, it just looks like you have a brother, like a twin brother.
So more of Tim not making it to Origins memes. This is another fan made one, so one of our viewers made this one.
That was good.
This was finally after 4 days of Tim can't make it to Origins memes. This was one of the last ones I dropped. This is another unreleased one. If you know, you know. There we go. Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Wes. Apparently, Mike doesn't watch any TikTok.
I don't watch TikTok.
Wow.
We need to just send him the video so he can be in the know.
I don't think I want to know.
This is no, you do. Trust me.
Wow. That's pretty funny.
And this is another one our editor made.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Hawktua is everywhere. I jumped on that bandwagon. So there you go. There's all of my ridiculous repeat photos. And my Tim couldn't make it to Orange's memes, but it was hilarious, but also love him and wish he could have been there. So it was just a very fun way to like let him know I was thinking about him when he couldn't be there. So
I am going to take 1,000 pictures at Gen Con, like on the massive amount of pictures, and then we're doing this again the Monday after Gen Con. And I'm going to old man the shit out of that. All right. I'm just letting you know.
My segment was still shorter than Mike's.
One, again, I talk about the meaningful things in the industry. Two, you're doing that on Whiskey Wednesday.
Doing what?
That's fine. We could do that.
But
you have to come on.
I'll be there. That's fine.
Okay.
We're doing what? Oh, covering your 1,000 Gen Con photos?
1,000 pictures. It's going to be top 1,000 pictures from Gen Con. West, top 1,000 pictures from Gen Con.
I shit you not. I'm going to take 1,000 pictures. Guaranteed. And I will edit my 1,000 pictures.
Paul, good to see you.
Hey,
that
Paul.
is 100% happening.
That's funny.
Well, there you go.
That's funny shit.
Well, I mean, I do content. I'm not in the industry. So again, this was about going to the con, playing games, meeting people, and enjoying my time there. And I think you could tell based on my pictures, I enjoyed my time. So
as much as Wes was busting your balls, I do appreciate, and you said it in the beginning, you are looking at it from a different perspective. Not necessarily content creator and I don't know, stuff you want for the channel or getting review copies, but you are looking at it from a fan. Like we definitely were looking at it from more of a business perspective, from inside the booth out, and you were looking at it from outside the booth in, kind of, as shown by the many pictures you took outside of booths. It does well. It rounds it out really well, right? The idea of it's not just one-sided. Like we're not all from the same. We're not looking at it through the same lens, whether we're just hobbyists or we're in the industry or whatever. It is a good reminder that there are many different lenses that happen at these things.
Also true.
Yep.
And
of course, we love you, Mike. I wouldn't make fun of you if I didn't love you.
I know that's exactly the whole point with making all these memes about Tim. Like, I don't put that much effort into giving somebody shit if I don't like them. Like,
exactly.
That means I really like you. I don't put that much effort into trashing somebody unless I really love them. So, and again, I've really only the rundown's been going since 2020, and like I've been friends with these guys for only a couple years, and then like they already become my best friends. You guys are like right in there. Like the fact that I was one of the first people that you guys asked to come on the show and do this recap just like is like kind of not unexpected, but like still humbling. Like you guys Mike's been in the industry for years, you guys just have far more experiences than I do. And just the fact that I get the opportunity to come on here and just shoot the shit with you guys and talk about how much fun it is to do this and hang out with you guys, I just really appreciate.
Don't underestimate yourself, man. Like, also, Paul, I didn't know you were there. Had I known you were there, I would have made time to come say hello.
Yeah, same.
I hope it was good for you. I hope it went well.
I had to make a joke real quick about I tried to see Paul many times and didn't catch him till like Sunday afternoon. So
it's good that you saw West. Otherwise, we wouldn't believe you were there. Yeah, I said in the beginning, like, congratulations when you hit 5,000. You don't underestimate yourself. Like, whether like we're in the industry and we've been there for years, like I get it, right? And we're on the publishing side, we're on the other side of the table, or like I said, inside the booth and you were outside. that's not saying that you're outside this community. You guys are doing stuff that is amazing. Like your Whiskey Wednesday has a following. Your reviews are good. Like you're doing solid stuff. And for me, I say it all the time. I appreciate good people doing good things, and I try and support that as I can. Whether it's a young design team that I met in Brooklyn or coming out of Brooklyn that is at Origins, and I'm like, oh, go talk to these people, or another design team that like I'll make face-to-face introductions to. You are doing good things, and I appreciate people that do good things, especially in this industry, in any industry, but especially in this one, because we all kind of work together to make things happen, and you're part of the cog of the system that can. He's still okay, don't worry. You're part of the cog in the system that makes good things happen. So you and the team, I don't mean to single you out, but you and Tim and Spencer and like Bob, like you guys are all doing good stuff. So even though we're making fun of you because we love you, do not underestimate the impact that you have. Like I said before, I not necessarily see the people that are watching your videos and the impact it has, but you're making an impact.
It's if it wasn't clear already, I'll make it very clear. We kind of built a lot of our subscriber base by doing reviews and stuff like that. And then it was a little less than 2 years ago where we started running a live show, and you guys were very much an influence on how our live show operates. I've watched what Chris does behind the scenes to try to learn what I should be doing on our show behind the scenes. I learned about my enjoyment of trying to find indie games to cover because of West. So you guys have been a huge influence for what kind of content we've been putting out. And it wouldn't be what it is today without your guys' influences.
We're all working together. We're all doing good shit. We keep doing good stuff.
A rising tide lifts all ships.
Right. Whoa. Yeah, can you say hi to them?
Bye.
I said hi.
I do also want to point out that Mike was like, we'll just try to keep the show a little short, probably just an hour. It's 3.5 hours in.
What did I say right after that? We'll keep it short, or we're going to have a 4-hour show. I specifically said
we still got another half hour to go.
We're going to keep it short, or we're going to have a 4-hour show.
Yep.
It'll just be another night when I only get 5 hours of sleep. It's fine. No worries.
That's totally fine. It's just another 10 minutes, guys. We got a quick, easy game to play. It's totally fine.
Sleep on Wednesday. There's nothing happening on Wednesday. Oh, wait. There is something happening.
Oh, God. Yeah, I only do a 3-hour stream and work 10 hours before I do it.
Did you hear what he just said?
Ducky.
Do it again. What did you just say? What is that?
Flamingo.
Yeah, it is. That's right, buddy.
He pointed right at Dave and said that's a flamingo.
Nice. It is.
Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. The cookie.
Good job. Cookie.
Okay.
Very nice cookie.
Yeah, so before it does become a 4-hour show, which we can definitely talk for another 30 minutes. Do the like and subscribe thing while you're here. If you're watching this on YouTube, which I'm sure most are, I don't think anybody's watching it on the Facebook. Click over to the Board Game Rundown and like and subscribe them. They have their shows on Wednesday. They go live at 8. Usually they have some sort of industry guest on and talk about some top 5 that they make up. And they actually order them. I don't order my shit on Mondays, but they actually order them. There's a reason. Tim doesn't. Tim's more like me, but you definitely have a reason for why you do the things you do. So hop over there on Wednesday, support them. If you're not doing anything on Wednesdays, it's at 8 o'clock. And then Friday, you'll see Wes and I do the This Is the Play, which I don't know what the fuck we're playing, so we got to talk about that. I have to catch up on a couple comments because I haven't seen this.
These guys are awesome. I know a lot of the people in the industry because of you two, so very appreciative of you guys.
Well, you are worth supporting, my friend.
Yep, agreed.
You're a good one. There you go.
Thank you, Brandon.
Bingo. So yeah, Just like the bell, hit this. What do you do? Like the thumb, hit the bell. I don't know what it is.
Yes, all those things.
Mhm.
I'm just one of our BGR guys. There's a whole group of us. We're Omni Gamers. We cover everything from Kabanga to Rove to Stuff of Legend. You name it. We play it all.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, the Wednesday folk, especially with like I know Bob, but you got Bob and Spencer and Dan and you two, and there are more people behind the scenes. But you're kind of like a one-stop shop. You got your reviews, you got your preview videos, you got your live thing for like the fun stuff, like the stuff you want to talk about, personal level, and you definitely have a net. Like we talked about 25th Century and the net they cast with gaming. Board Game Rubdown has a net they cast in gaming as well, just not on a buy my games list. It's more more of a content creation stuff. But yeah, the whole team does good stuff. You want to go inside?
No.
No? Okay. Get your hand in your mouth.
Bread.
Brr.
Bread.
All right. So with that, I'm sure
Bread.
almost there. Wait, you were a little early on that one. Okay. I'll go 3, 2, 1, then you say it. Okay. Now that you've all liked and subscribed to everything, again, catch Mike Rice, that guy, on Wednesday. Catch us on Friday. And I'll see you all again soon. Thanks again for taking 3.5 hours on a Monday night after a long fucking weekend. I hope work doesn't suck too much for you tomorrow, Mike.
Too much adrenaline still running after the con for that to happen.
I know. All right, do you want to say bye to Mike? Say bye, Mike. Say bye, Mike.
Bye, Mike.
Bye, Luca.
Say bye, West.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Luca.
Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Wave.
Wave.
No, don't say wave. Wave.
Wave.
Wave.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone in the chat. See you all soon. Oh, Sam just got here.
There's Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Now there's Sam. Jesus, we couldn't have talked about him more throughout this.
All
Of
right.
all the shows we've done, we talked about Sam more, and this is where he shows up when we're about to hang up. Oh, that's hysterical. Well, love you, Sam. We talked about you a lot tonight, so maybe if you
We
want to go
definitely
back,
did.
3.5 hours, you have nothing else to do. Why don't you go back and watch this one? That's hysterical. Yeah, this could turn into a 5-hour show if we start talking to Sam.
It's true. We just got to get him on to do the chair story. That's really what it boils down to.
He did it. He told us on when we had him on the Monday.
Yeah, but
show.
he should just say it at least once a year. It should just roll over.
I agree.
Yeah.
I got it. Oh wow, you just got in. I hope the trip went well.
Oh, crap. Yeah, then just have me in. I'll take like 30 pictures of him getting pushed on a swing. And then Mike will tell me I didn't take any pictures.
No, but that's the kind of thing you want to take multiple pictures of, because then you could put a progression of the swing, right?
But then edit it so it's properly. You're not just taking 30 pictures of him at the top of the swing, and it's it's 30 pictures with him at different levels of the swing at the very least, if that's the your major focus. But don't worry, I'll take plenty of pictures at Gen Con.
Tune in for our 5-hour Gen Con recap featuring West Todd.
I'm gonna wear a wig. I'm gonna have bifocals. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out the old slide projectors. It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
All right, I'm gonna hit end before this does turn into a 4-hour thing. Can you say bye, Sam? Say bye, Sam.
Bye, Sam.
Brandon's right. This is that we are the Midwestern goodbye, where we're like, we're just gonna. It's gonna be a 10-minute. We'll see you later, and then an hour and a half later, we're still saying goodbye.
Tim's the worst at it.
It is very true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm really gonna hit end stream. Thank you guys, both of you, everyone in the chat. Great seeing everybody this weekend. Definitely reinforces why I do what I do and why I love what I do. All right, say bye. I'm gonna hit bye.
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 Way